Alright, this is Tales of Eodon, session 41. So, just a bit of recap. Last session, Torvald and Olivier had um, a falling out. You guys were philosophically opposed, and Torvald left the party, becoming Grove Keeper of Driffelder. And the two of you attempted to kill Leonte, or actually, I'm sorry, Olivier attempted to kill Leonte, but Torvald, you had basically decided to protect her, and in doing so, asked asked Leviticus to bring Leonte to the most secluded place in the world, so she is presently gone. And in the midst of all of this action, Katerina, you left and snuck off to go find Vinhold.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. I don't know if I want to do that this session though.
okay, you don't want to do that this session?
No.
Okay. So in that case, Torvald goes on to become Grove Keeper. Olivier and Katerina, if you're not doing that, you have basically pieced out
Yeah,
while
because I
Torvald and
found.
Olivier are doing their thing.
Well, Olivier, she left me a note.
That's right, she left you a note to go back to Port Hildian. So,
hmm
Olivier, are you also going back to Port Hildian?
Didn't she already dip out?
I believe she had dipped out at the end of last session. Is that correct, Olivier? What did you do after this commotion?
Besides fuck up everything on stream, yeah, I was, I guess, upset and was gonna just leave. Horrible gave me his boat, and I think I was just gonna go find whoever's left in the party and be like, ah, fuck this shit. I'm gonna go to Port Hilda, and this is what I'm doing. Do you want to come? But it mostly just stopped with him like walking away, and it was just like, damn, dude.
Okay. Unless I've gotten the times mistaken, at this point it should be fairly late in the afternoon. So let's go ahead and move over to Port Hildian then. Katerina, are you doing anything in particular before you go back to Port Hildian?
No, I don't think so. I would just be. I would wherever she left me the note. I'm just finding the note, and then I guess I'm gonna just head over to Port Hildian.
Okay, so Olivier, you guys are all moving back to Port Hildian. Where would you have told Katerina to meet you?
Probably the bar.
Okay.
The sailors, whatever.
The sailor song?
Sailor song, yeah.
Okay. So in that case, at about this time, Lance, you will be returning from an escort job to Yarnborg. You were escorting a shipment of fish, and
Alright.
and you are just returning here at the
It's not a
Central
dead
Branch.
body or anything.
Not to your knowledge. Okay, so Lance, as you're getting back, you are met by city guards who are kind of waiting for you. And seeing the other guards arrive with the caravan that you left with, the guard sort of presents you with a sack of gold. And as you're walking up, he kind of looks you up and down, and you see a look of almost contempt on his face. And he says, well, that's a job done. Here's payment for your work. You've done well, mercenary.
How much is it?
Shit, how much was it? I think 300. Did I state a price? I'm pretty sure it was
I don't remember.
It was a pretty fat amount of gold. I want to go ahead and say 300. Also, I meant to point out, last session, you need to add 70 gold to your inventory because one of your party members had divvied out gold from one of your killed squad mates.
Yeah, I already took it.
That's right, but you guys had gotten paid more than the other band of mercenaries, so the gold he divvied up between you guys would have come out to 100, not 30.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So this guard kind of eyes you up and down, giving you like kind of a look of contempt, and he pays you your gold. And he says, if we need you again, we'll send a courier your way.
Nice doing business with you.
And he kind of like looks you up and down again, and you can tell this guy's kind of put off by you, but he just kind of steps aside. Let you enter the city here. As you're walking through town here, Lance, go ahead and make me a perception check.
Alright. 6.
6. Oof. Not super great. Okay. So, what you do find is a sheet on the wall, basically. And it looks like it's an announcement of a public execution that's due to happen at some point today.
When does it happen?
It's going to happen a little bit later on in the afternoon here, maybe more towards evening.
It doesn't say of who, it just says public execution.
The name given is Sten Vorantz. And this man is allegedly responsible for the murders here in Port Hildian. The sheet specifically says for masterminding the murders of the homeless in Port Hildian, and is responsible, allegedly so, for the recent murders of several town guards.
Nothing like a good execution. I just like say to myself.
Yeah, there's a vague sketch of a young man on the cover. Or the cover, the front of the page, the center of the page.
Alright. Where do executions help?
Let me see, what executions?
How do I turn the music down on my thing?
So what you can do is you can go to the gear in the corner.
Okay.
Like in the box where you type. There's a little gear up in the upper right hand corner. Go to master music volume level after you click on that and just slide it down a little bit and it'll crank the music down.
It says master music volume level.
Yeah, moving that down will turn the volume of Roll20 down for you. There are directions on the sheet for where this execution's going to be. And it just looks like it is sort of off to the grounds, kind of behind the castle here, or the keep.
Okay.
There's like a small gallows area. Okay. So that's what you're seeing there. Is there any particular thing you want to do throughout the day today? Olivier and Katerina will be returning sort of later on this afternoon.
I'm gonna go to the gambler's den.
The gambler's den, okay.
But not to gamble.
But not to gamble. Okay, interesting. So you make your way up through Port Hildian. You're greeted with the usual sights and smells of the city. The food stalls cooking and the salty air of the sea. And as you make your way through the fish market, as usual, you see people sort of like vomiting in the streets, like people pitching their fish. And you make your way to the gambler's den. What exactly are you doing up here, if not gambling?
I want to kind of like watch people gamble.
You're going to watch people gamble.
Yeah. See how much, they put down and whatnot.
Okay. You are just watching bets. Are you looking for any particular thing?
Looking for big bets.
For big bets. Okay. Well, it's still fairly early on in the day. Roll me a D100.
That will be 40.
40?
40. Yeah.
Okay. So looking through, throughout the Gambler's Den, it's still fairly early on, but there is a group who seems to be throwing down a moderate sum. Considerable enough, but nothing like huge. And you're just watching them play?
Yeah.
These people are rolling dice. Okay. Are you looking
not
for any
putting money
particular
down.
thing, or you're just gonna observe?
I'm observing.
Okay. Are you observing for any particular thing, or just watching?
Watching how they roll the dice.
Watching how they roll the dice. Okay. Go ahead. Roll me another D100 and then roll me a perception check.
What I missed? What happened?
Lance is in the Gambler's Den observing how people roll dice.
Okay. Like left-handed versus right-handed or something?
So 59. To see if they're cheating, really.
Uh,
59 and then a 17 perception.
17. Okay. Okay. Lance, you've been in here. We'll say you spend the next couple of hours. There's somebody in here who keeps playing this dice game, and sometimes he loses. But you have noticed that generally speaking, this guy is making money, and people come and go, but this particular person is sort of sitting in this den, playing game after game with various people.
What does he look like?
So looking at this guy, he's kind of a shady looking figure, but he's a tall, fairly well-dressed man, and he smokes a lot. In fact, make me an insight check. So you've been watching this guy play from across the room.
Well,
12?
yeah.
Okay. You notice when he's anxious, he drags on his cigarette in like sort of short, rapid successions. But after a while, this figure kind of stands up and crosses the room over to your table between games. And he says, "Hey, notice you keeping an eye on me. You looking to play a game?"
I might. If you're winning them all, though, I'm not really sure of my odds.
And he sort of laughs and he says, "That's what I like about dice. It's every man's game. There are no odds. You just roll them and see what fate gives you."
I'm not really a gambling man. I always lean on the skills that I have. But I guess I could always give it a shot. What's your wager?
And he sort of looks around one way and the other and he says, "Well, I've made a good bit of coin today. How's 5 gold?" And he sort of wiggles his fingers and the dice are suddenly like there between his hands.
Alright, fair enough.
And he says, "Game on then." And he puts a few coins on the table. Go ahead and roll a d20.
17.
17. His comes out as an 18. And he says, "Ooh, tough luck there, friend. Looks like this first one's mine. Play again."
You know
So
they're
I'm
like
down another
weighted
5
or some
gold.
shit.
So I'm down another 5 gold. I'm gonna watch his hands as like closely as I can this time.
"Oh, another game. You got it." He says, "Very well. Roll 'em."
16.
16. Go ahead and roll me a perception check.
15.
15. Ooh. You notice when he moves his hand, he has a particular way of rolling the dice, but you can't quite see him doing anything that looks like he's manipulating the die. And when you watch it land, it comes out on an 18. And he says, "Well, looks like I've got you beat, friend. Let me buy you a drink at least. Give you some of that gold back." And he takes the next 5 gold off the table.
He's like, you have quite the sleight of hand. Maybe I'll learn how to do that one day.
Sleight of hand? I don't know what you mean.
The
Dice don't
thing you do
favor
with your
anyone.
hand. Do it. No one else really does it in here.
Oh, this? And he sort of makes a die appear between his fingers. And he says, "That's just a little trick I picked up. The dice don't favor anyone."
I just kind of like throw him a suspicious glance and just, it's like, I'll take that drink now.
He says, "Of course." And he sort of smiles. And he says, "I'll have it right over." And he pats the table and stands up and walks across the room to somebody else. And you see on the way, he sort of calls over to the barkeep, who sends a mug of ale your way. And as you're watching Lance, you sort of see as he works through a similar routine with the next guy. And again, that's 5 gold. You watch as the tall man sort of reaches across the table and slides it his way. The other person frowns, and you see the body language going on as the tall man sort of assures him, and a drink comes over. And as they're talking, they play another game. And the tall man loses this time. And he kind of holds his hands up and laughs. But one more after that, and the tall man's sliding the gold his way across the table.
So he's just going around and just doing the same shit to everybody.
He loses one every now and then. But luck really seems to favor this guy. And you suspect it's in ways beyond just his sleight of hand with the die, making it show up between his fingers. What are you gonna do for the rest of this afternoon here? Are you just gonna hang out in the Gambler's Inn watching this guy con people?
Nah. I'm just gonna leave.
Okay. So what are you doing for the remainder, or at least until Olivier and Katarina arrive? Lance is just sort of getting back in the morning and he's making his way about town.
I'm just, I don't know, I'm just gonna go to the marketplace. What's in this area again? The circle?
This area here,
Yeah.
this is just City Hall offices, this small building right here. like a small city hall area, and these are all like nice houses. This is like nobility or like wealthy merchants and such.
What's that big tree? I wanna go to that big tree.
Okay.
I mean, I know what that big tree is.
Right,
but...
right. Lance, as you approach this tree, what you see is a building that has sort of been grown out of this tree in a way that doesn't seem quite right. You're not sure how this could have ever naturally occurred. But this tree, which towers over the city, by the way, it's much taller than any building and can be seen from pretty much anywhere in the city. This tree is a gorgeous building. Very intricate and elegant architecture.
Is there a guard nearby?
Yeah, there are guards that are sort of walking about here and there.
I just like pull one to the side. Like, what's this tree doing here?
And he says, "Oh, that's the Performance Center. We put on shows there every now and then with the Performance Guild. Nobody really knows how it got there. Just showed up one day. Strangest thing in the world, but it's quite a sight, isn't it?"
Yeah, I'd say.
And he says, he sort of looks you up and down and he says, "You take care. Keep an eye out for any trouble."
I look him up and down and say, "You too."
He's gonna sort of go about his business.
Well, I'm going in the same direction as him, so it's kinda awkward.
You like awkwardly stay about 10 feet behind him. Okay.
So, what's this place again?
These are the guilds down here.
Oh. Guilds.
In case you're trying to commission any particular project.
What kind of guilds are there besides the blacksmith?
There's the Alchemists Guild, the Tailors Guild, the Engineers Guild, the Smiths Guild, the Gourmands Guild, the Jewelers Guild, the Woodworkers Guild, the Artists Guild, and the Performers Guild.
The Gourmands Guild sounds good. It's like, oh, I love food. I'm gonna check that out.
Okay, so you're just gonna go check that place out? As you head to it, what you find is a large, very clean, well-kept building.
Alright.
And you are approached by a well-dressed man who sort of like welcomes you in and asks if you're here to dine or to tour the facilities.
I would like to tour the facilities.
Okay. He then asks, like, are you looking to sign on? Are you a prospective student?
What do you guys cook around here?
And he's basically gonna work you through all this. We're gonna say that you are basically just like touring this place for the remainder of the afternoon because there's a lot he can fill you on. In the meantime, Olivier and Katerina, when are y'all coming back to Port Hildian? Are you coming here first, Katerina? Since you're not doing anything with Venhold?
Yeah.
Okay. And Olivier, when are you coming back? Pretty much immediately as well?
Yeah, like I think I would have tried to spend, a short time searching for Katerina, but if I couldn't, I would have just left a note wherever we were staying and dipped.
Okay. Katerina, what were you doing if you weren't looking for Venhold?
Probably. Well, that's the thing. I don't know what I would have been doing. I probably just went back to the human house.
Okay, just sort of waited for everything to cool off?
The human house.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Olivier, after everything goes down, you would find Katerina here at the human house.
Well, no, she left me a note.
Well, she said she was going to look for you, and if she couldn't find you, she would leave you a note.
Okay.
So I just open the door, oh so casually, step inside, and if I see her, just approach her and be like, Katarina.
Yes.
And Olivier's looking still a little flushed, a little irritated, but she looks at you and she's like, there are things I must still settle. Sorry about what you saw with Torvald, but I have a choice to make. I am going back to Port Ildeon. I plan to move north. I do not know what you intend to do. This is what I am going to do.
Well, I'm meant to be with you, so wherever you go, I will be. But what about Leonte? And like, kind of just like looking at her and like furrowing my eyebrows, kind of questioning.
She scowls and responds kind of quietly, like, "Oh, yeah. It is. I will find her again. She will. I do not know where she went, but I will worry about that another day."
But you tried to kill her.
Yeah.
She like slumps her shoulders and sighs and is like, it was not my intention originally, but it is something I must do now. I made pact magic with the metal Suhana, and I've spoken my reward, so I must now earn it.
How
She
do
kind
I
of like
know?
what?
No,
Sorry.
no, go ahead.
She just like exasperatedly like throws her hands around wildly and is like, ugh, je ne sais pas, I do not know how to explain it. It just, I do not think ill of her. There's something I must do. And killing hell is one of those things.
Katerina just like looks down at the floor and then looks back up at Olivia and just says, "Yes, we all have things to do."
And she just casually shrugs and is like, if it makes you feel better, I have nothing against you. If I'm leaving for Portillion, so if you need to do anything, do it now.
Can I trust you?
She like she smiles a little bit and kind of just shrugs and says, "It would seem not, but that is for you to decide. You don't have to trust me to accomplish the things you need to do. I do not need." She's all flabbergasted over her words. Once upon a time, I was the most trustworthy person of all, but I am here now, and I am not the same.
Can I roll anything to see how sincere she's being?
Yeah, you can roll an insight on this.
Oh, but my insight's terrible.
You can
Oh
try.
shit. Okay, I'll try. Hold on,
Yeah,
I think my
insight's
insight.
not great as well.
Dude, mine's like -2.
Oh no, mine's
Wait,
just
wait, wait.
0.
No, mine's +1. Okay.
Yeah, better than me.
God damn it! I rolled a 4. God damn it.
So
Well, she seems pretty.
Well, no, like I rolled a 3, so
straightforward.
4. Okay. Well, Katerina will just like is just eyeing her, just kind of like trying to decide like if she wants to go with this crazy lady, and like knowing. Huh?
Nah, she just was gonna continue after you're done. My bad.
I think Katerina's just like having a battle in her mind of like, do I do this? Do I not? But then she remembers why she was sent to be with you, and she just kind of like shrugs her shoulders.
If you are worried about me backstabbing you, I assure you it is not in my future plans. If you have nothing else to do, I would like to leave this little island, so whenever, let's go.
There's nothing left for me to do here.
Yeah, me either.
What about Tobald? Is he staying here?
She kind of just grimaces and says, he does what he wants. He is no longer something I concern myself with.
Alright then, let's go.
Let's leave. GTFO.
Bye, bitches.
Yeah, bye, Felicia.
Okay.
We like
so...
skip to the portal.
La 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 la.
We're like flashing people as we like run out.
Right. You you get another death, and you get a death, and you get a death.
Okay, so you guys make your way back to Port Hildian.
Yes.
And at this point, it is fairly late in the afternoon. You'll be coming in over here through the northern branch. Alright. So Olivier, you are currently in need of mercenaries to move north with. That was your plan at least, right?
Yeah, and see if any of these Fight Club dudes want to come.
Okay. As you are making your way into town, actually both of you guys, as you guys are making your way in, roll me a perception check.
Ooh, I got scores on this now. 4, 5, 6, 7, 17.
17, wow. Okay. Katarina?
I picked that as one of my
15.
proficiencies that I've been playing all 8 levels without, so.
Hell yeah. What'd you get, Katarina?
15.
15. Okay, so the two of you guys, your attention is captured by this large paper here that's sort of posted on the wall, and looking at it, it appears to be some sort of advertisement for a group that calls themselves the Broken Fist.
We bite, we train, we drink.
And looking at it, it promises new recruits will actually be paid to train with the others. 8 silver pieces for the first month, and then a gold apiece for the month if they continue to stick around. Seems like a pretty easy way to make money. Okay.
Yeah, no.
But the two of you are now back in Port Hildian here. What would y'all like to do?
Would you say it's like midnight or like 10? 2
Yeah,
in the
what time is
morning?
it?
At this point, it's like, it's fair, it's like, I said late afternoon before. I was kind of thinking like 4 or 5, I guess. So I guess not that late, but it's like starting to get there. Katarina, you also see, a notice that seems to be pretty popular, that is informing the public of a public execution that's occurring later on. And you see it's actually going to occur fairly soon here.
Public execution of who? Who's getting executed?
It is a man whose name was Sten, and he was apparently responsible for the homeless murders that are occurring.
Wait, like the OG dude? The ringleader?
It says his name is Sten.
I don't remember old dude's name.
Old Man Sten was the one that people had. It was here actually. Let me see if I can show you. It was this guy. If you remember this guy's face. Okay, this is the OG dude. But it says that a person named Sten is going to be executed later on today. But looking at this, Olivier, roll me an insight check.
Oh shit. Okay, insight. Oh my god, 2.
A 2. Okay, never mind. You just sort of glaze over it. But it looks like somebody named Sten is to be executed later on today and is responsible both for masterminding the homeless murders, but also the recent murders of several guardsmen.
Alright.
And that's supposed to be going on later on today. Like in a few hours.
Libby looks down her stomach. Ugh. I'm a bit peckish. Should we stop by the inn and grab something to eat?
Is it alright if I meet you there?
Yes, we can discuss what we must do.
Wait, what did you say? I didn't hear you.
Just if you wanted to eat, and we could discuss plans while we're eating at the Sailor Song.
Katarina looks at you and she's like, I'm not that hungry yet, but I can meet you there.
Well then, I might stop by the Fox's Den. I need to check in with these ladies, and I will make my way there afterwards.
I just have someone to see, and then I will be there shortly.
C'est bien. Maybe for an hour, meet you there.
Yes, that sounds great.
D'accord. All right.
Okay. So you guys are each doing your thing. Katarina, what did you want to do first?
I want to go talk to Dimitri.
Okay. So you are gonna go find Dimitri in the fish market. Alright, as usual, he is just trying to sell some fish. Actually, it's daytime, so you technically are in your nobleman's wear, or noblewoman's clothes.
Did he give me the bag to send stuff back to Consenta?
Yes, he did.
God damn it. What else? What else did he give me? He gave me that.
He gave you the bag, and you
It was the satchel.
You had given him the ledger for the Port Hildian treasury.
I did?
Mm-hmm. And sent that back to Constanta.
Okay, so that's already in the bag?
Right, that's already out of the bag. It is no longer in the bag.
Okay.
And I believe... Actually, I don't know. Did you inform this guy that you had robbed Port Hildian as well? That was you?
I think I like said it in a sly way to like just say like I just happened to... Yeah.
Okay. So as you come close, like you see him glance at you, but he pretends kind of like not to see you, and he's just continuing to call stuff out. But like he knows you're standing there as you're sort of like looming into view here.
Mhm.
He just says, "Fish, fish, come get your fish."
Can I just like motion it? Because I can. He's on a ship, right?
No, he's in a stall.
In a stall, like a stand?
Yeah, like a little shack.
Can we motion to go in the back of the shack? The shack. The ship.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry.
As you do, he sort of like looks around and then nods and like sort of just like quietly steps into the back of the shack.
And I just want to like
leaving the door open. Okay. And as you step inside, he says, "My lady, it's good to see you again. What have you learned in your travels?"
It's good to see you as well. I've sent my father back the ledger from the Duke's treasure, and I just wanted to ask if you would be willing to do a favor for me.
What favor is this?
I might need some help distracting the Duke.
Distracting the Duke?
Yes.
What are you planning?
Hold on, I don't want to tell him what I'm planning.
Well, you're asking him for help. What are you wanting him to do?
I know. Well, that thing that we talked about, but not right now. Probably during the solo.
Okay, so what are you telling him right now?
Basically, I want to just tell him that I have a favor that I want him to do, but I can't tell him what the favor is. How loyal is Dimitri to me and my father?
He seems to be fairly loyal. You want to ask him, like, how loyal are you?
Yeah.
Okay, so you ask him how loyal, and he says, "I have served your father faithfully for many years." He says, "I have been posted here in Port Hildian for a good time, but I consider myself a trusted colleague, trusted enough to be in possession of one of those bags there." And he nods at the bag that you have.
Can I open up my traveler's bag and pull up the guard's key?
Okay.
And I want to like show him the key, and I want to hand it to him and just ask him like, "Do you trust me?"
And he looks at you. The look on his face, Katarina, tells you he doesn't trust you, but he is loyal to you and will do what you ask.
Take this key and hide it, and I will come back soon, and I will let you know what I need you to help me with.
And he says, "That I can do for you, my lady." And he takes the key and he says, "No one will find this."
Not even me.
And what he tells you is he says, "I am loyal to General Poliv, always, as I
And I
have
am
been for
loyal.
many years."
And I am loyal to Constanta.
And he says, "Yes, to Constanta." And he sort of like bows his head.
Just want to like bow back at him and then just I'm done with him.
So what did you want him to do? What was the favor that you were going to ask him?
I just want him to hold on to the key, and then when we do the solo,
Okay,
I'll
gotcha.
come. Yeah, so I'm just basically having him hold the key, and then I'll come back to him in like a day or so.
Okay, that's fine. So for now, just like stash this key. Don't let anyone find it.
Mhm.
Okay, no problem. Anything else for now? All right. So Olivier, what did you want to do after parting ways? You were going to the Fox's Den?
Yeah, I was just gonna touch base with all the projects I left, but maybe not all of them. However many I can get done in an hour before I have to be at the Sailor Song.
Okay, so you're just gonna sort of sweep around the city,
Yeah,
knocking out your
as
errands.
far as I can go. Yeah.
Okay.
I also want to stop by the smithy or the guild as well, but I figured the Fox's Den is the closest one, so.
Okay, just start here and make your way south.
Yeah, and then like north.
Okay, so as you step back into the Fox's Den, there's the usual like trio, you know, doing their like "Hey Olivier" thing.
She just winks.
You know, they all kind of like wave, you know.
She just winks and blow kisses at everyone.
So you make your way in.
Like reminiscent of her old self, you know, Charmer.
Yeah. Back in your Hildian days.
Yeah.
Oh god.
So you make your way to the shrewd old Mama-san, who's like waiting up there, and she says, Olivier, good to see you again. I trust you've been busy, as have we."
She nods and is like, "Enchanté, madame. It is always a pleasure."
And she smiles and like sort of graciously like bows, or curtsies rather, and she says, "I'm glad you're here. I've got news I think you'll be interested in."
She cocks an eyebrow and slightly tilts her head.
And she says, "Well, first, let's settle down properly." And she sort of looks over at someone and she says, "Tea," and she like snaps her fingers, and like one of the servant girls sort of immediately turns and like heads out of the room, and the Mama-san sort of turns to you and she says, "Right this way, Miss Rousseau."
She nods and follows suit.
She leads you to like a very elegant like tea room, and the two of you sort of like sit down as someone like brings tea, and as the lady, the servant girl is sort of closing the door after serving tea, the Mama-san watches her leave and turns to you and says, "Well, first, you'd asked about this Animali group, wanting us to look into things, or outside groups that are advancing anyways." She says, "It's been difficult to confirm the source, but there has been word of this Animali group here in town. It seems people do know of the Animali. Here and there we hear mention that some kind of group was making its way to Port Hildian." She says, "Unfortunately, we weren't able to figure out the source, and I can't tell you where this group is coming from or anything about this, but there are whispers that some sort of Animali group is making their way to Port Hildian."
That is most interesting.
"It is, and there's more." She says, "Castle Yortigar." She says, the group you're with, if I'm not mistaken, consist of the hunting party formerly known as the Outlanders, yes?
Oui. However, one of them is not with us any longer. The other one is lost.
Ah, well, complications. Regardless, they were the ones who cleared out Castle Yordagar, which was recently renovated. And it seems that strange barbarians from deep in the jungle to the northeast have been seen approaching the castle. And Olivier, you would know this is strange because the deep wilds near the center of the continent are uncharted, and humans are thought to be unable to survive there.
Yeah. Are you? She's, by the way, opening up her arm and taking out her dream weed to smoke. But as she does this, she just stopped, like, looks at the lady and's like, "Are you sure they are men, or maybe beast men or monsters?"
And the old woman says, "Well, they seem to be people, but savages. They don't wear clothes like a typical person. And we've only gotten vague descriptions from a few of the guards. But from what we know, they appear to be barbarians of some sort."
Do you think that someone would be able to draw me a sketch? Is that possible?
And she says, "Huh, perhaps someone in Castle Yordagar. We could do a little digging if you like. That's what we've been able to dig up as far as over there. There have been some unusual things going on here in the city as well. You're familiar with these homeless killings that are occurring?"
I have held. I thought there was an execution, late execution, or I don't know how to say, whatever, later.
Oh, yes. I'd heard about that. Big news.
Oui, sadly, that is about all I know.
Well, we don't know too much, but we have heard that some of the guards seem to be turning a blind eye to some of the homeless killings that are occurring here. Very unusual.
Not everybody is against this philosophy.
Perhaps not. This is the Merchant Union, after all.
Oui, but of course. Most interesting.
Yes, and it seems Port Hildian's been sabotaged lately. Somebody recently robbed the treasury. Apparently they stole an enormous sum.
She's like hitting her dream weed and like inhaling deeply, tapping the metal part of her finger to the pipe.
The old woman.
Is it possible for the treasure to be robbed?
The old woman nods. She says, "It's possible. And they say that the Duke has been hiring mercenaries recently to compensate for the guardsmen being stretched so thin. What with the war with the fasteners. These are complicated times."
I thought the war was resolved.
She nods. "It is. But there's aftermath to deal with."
Oui. So, well, the girls are not getting enough money, or what is it, you think?
She shakes her head and she says, "There's not enough guardsmen." And the city has been doing better than ever since the Merchant Union took over. But we think it came with a certain nudge in the right direction.
Why do we not train more guards instead of hiring these mercenaries?
And she says it's a work in progress, but becoming a guardsman is voluntary. And what with the war that just occurred, people aren't exactly signing up in droves.
That is most unfortunate. Maybe I shall go chat later with this treasurer, or maybe figure some stuff out.
And she nods very graciously and she says, "Perhaps so. I hope this has been very informative for you."
She gives a resplendent smile and nods and says, "Oui, I am very pleased with everything. Just keep it up and if you do know of any mercenaries not wanting to be guards, but maybe adventuring north, send them to Sailor Song and to find me.
The Sailor Song, yes. Your new place. I've been hearing it's doing quite well.
She kind of like smiles in pride, but honestly doesn't know. She hasn't been there. It is definitely livened up. I am there next. You should come join me for a drink later if you feel inclined.
And she says, I surely will. The ladies have all been enjoying their discount.
Always a pleasure, madame.
Always.
I shan't waste any more of your time. And she just like takes a bag of 100 gold and just like leaves it on the table for her.
And she says, oh, so generous, Miss Rousseau. I'll have one of the servants see you out.
She kind of bows.
And a girl kind of comes and escorts you out. Okay, so that's that for the Fox's Den.
All these things. Yes.
Any other errands you wanted to run?
I
While
wanna
you're making
get-
your roundabout?
Just see the progress. When I go to the circle place, I want to check on the progress of the costumes and the bombs and see how much or how long it would take or whatever to get my arm or like pieces of my hand coated in silver.
Okay. So first off, you would go, I suppose, to the Performers Guild, because they're up on the north side. Let me go ahead and move you down there. So as you're making your way around, as usual, there's like the spokesperson standing out on the soapbox. And as you sort of approach, he says like, oh, hello, Miss Rousseau. Welcome back, madam. Here to inquire about your commissioned order, I suppose?
Bonjour, monsieur. That is correct.
Bonjour, bonjour. He sort of bows very graciously, and he says, well, head right on inside. One of the designers will be right with you. And he sort of like nods over for somebody to like go find one. And turning back to you, he smiles tremendously. And he says, do take care. Those unusual outfits you commissioned are about to be done. And I must say, they look positively dreadful. Can't wait to see what sort of monstrous performance these savages will put on display.
So it shall be a night of horrors. It will be beautiful.
Oh yes, of course. And at this point, someone sort of like, this designer you sort of like briefly met with before, sort of says like, oh, like right this way, we've got your outfits ready. And looking at them, it appears to be like these paper mache skulls and such. But they've assembled these very like barbaric outfits that sort of resemble the description you provided them. Looking at them, it looks fairly accurate. They've done a pretty good job. It's not exact, but it gets the idea across.
Yeah, she's feeling like slight little triggers wanting to like fight its way to the surface.
Yeah, there's like a sense of unease as you're sort of looking at them here.
Uh-huh. And who's the dude making him? Is he around?
Yeah, it's just sort of like this like sort of nerdy designer. But you're sort of in this this tailoring room sort of in the back with him, and there's like some fitting mirrors nearby.
What was his name again?
Oh, I don't think he had given you his name. You just sort of like
Okay.
worked through it with him, but it's the same guy.
That
Garçon?
reminded me of the guy from my campaign.
Oh yeah.
She walks up to the dude and is like enthused, applauding, being like, "Oh, your job on these costumes is magnifique. Oh, look at the detail." She's, I don't know, like playing with the clothes, you know, holding it up to her and whatever.
And he's very quiet, and he says, like, "Oh yes, like I've really been working on this like a lot, and and I'm very glad to see that it came out the way that you like and that you're pleased with it. And he's sort of like showing you like the different like props, and he's like I made this with paper mache, and like this is affixed through these bindings over here, and like this and that.
This is all fascinating. I think
He's dragging out a peanut butter.
This one's made from ice, so it's only good for another 5 minutes. But
But I did it.
if we after this is done, I think a celebration is in order. Once you are finished, you should come to the sailor song, and we shall buy you drinks all night as repayment, and maybe if everything is perfect, I shall reward you for all your efforts, obviously, and materials.
Oh, well, you know, that's very much appreciated. That is a rather rough and tumble part of town, but I do think I could go for a drink maybe sometime after work.
Ah, that guy's high strung.
Right? She like bellows as he's saying this and like claps him on the shoulder with her metal arm and is like, "You say your me is Olivia Rousseau and no one will mess with you. You will be fine. At least my bar, you will be fine." Clunk, clunk. But don't, like,
Clap
break
him on the
it.
back, and like his glasses kind of like slide down, but he catches them and pushes them back up. And he says, "Yes, I'm looking forward to seeing how these outfits are going to be applied."
I have actually a script. If there is a director or someone I may give this playwright to.
And he says, "Oh yes, here you can pass along to the gentleman out on the soapbox. He tends to be the director of things around here. Likes to hear himself talk."
But thank you, Gerard. This is very great news. She's gonna keep calling him a different name until she.
He's sort of like, his ears get red, you know, but he just pushes up his glasses and he's like, "Yes, yes, of course."
Oh, Peter, I'm sorry, I forgot. I knew you were not Gerard. You are Peter, right? Oui?
It's Francois.
Ah, François.
Francois, yes.
Ah, magnifique. Parlez-vous français?
Did you get that from Real Housewives?
Yeah.
You did, didn't you? Francois.
He's Boletarian.
Francois.
He's Boletarian.
So yeah, she was just asking if he spoke French, since that's their native tongue.
He says, "No, my parents were Boletarian. I actually grew up here in the central part of Eodon.
Yeah, I actually grew up in this shithole.
My parents were immigrants."
I served the king in Boletarian. I grew up there as a street rat. And look at me now.
Oh yes, life is very complicated.
Oui. But let me not waste more of your precious time. You come to the sailor song when you are done, and we shall feast. And these are beautiful, and it's good to finally know your name, Francois.
Yes.
I will leave you to it.
It's very nice to meet you, Miss Russo. Take care.
You too, Francois. And then exit. And then stop by that guy in the box and hand him a paper of a script that she'd been working on, which is essentially like that thing we played, the Fall of Boletaria. That's essentially what the script is going to be.
Okay. So you have written a play? Is that what this is?
Well, like, yes. She recently was just like a diary of like, well, this is the events that happened. We'll just turn this into a play. We'll let the guys tweak it, but this is the idea. I'm not really a playwright, but here's the story. Someone can fix it and make it.
Okay.
Because I mean, it just happened to her. She's just like recanting the details, you know.
As you're running this guy through this, right?
Mm-hmm.
This guy says, "The fall of Boletaria. Say, this wouldn't happen to have anything to do with those ships that haven't come back from Boletaria, would it?"
Her eyes grow a little stormy, and she said, I do not know for a fact, but I have a high suspicion that maybe it is... intertwined. I actually am on a mission to go north and inquire about these ships and figure out what is happening. It is
Oh,
very disturbing, and it is my home country, so it
how heroic.
young. I serve the king. I would like to think that trying to do nothing but noble things.
Okay. He takes the script and he says, "Very well. We'll get to work on this at once."
Not that creative genius can be rushed, but if you had to guess about how long this would take, would you say a week maybe, or 3 days?
Oh, to get the actors trained and parts memorized, it'll take a good deal of time, but if you like, I can keep your man at the Sailor Song posted.
Oui, that would be perfect. You know, it would be nice maybe for the people of the city to enjoy a play in a month or two's time to help distract them from the aftermath of this war.
Yes, of course. If you happen to see Miss Lily, we could always use more of her works too. The audience is always hungry, after all.
So yeah, I will pass on the word if I see her.
But of course.
I almost said gracias. Merci, monsieur. I shall leave you to it, and yes, just give word to my homeboy at the front desk at the Sailor Song. Jerome, I don't remember his name either.
Will do, Miss Rousseau. Au revoir.
Over. And yes.
Okay.
Okay.
My goodness.
My goodness. Okay, Master Algrid.
Is that the bomb maker?
Yeah, this is the guy who worked on your arm as well.
Yes. So I can inquire about the bomb and the silver lacings.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it'd be cool to, like, put silver veins, you know, like, in the arm, like file, like, little veins out from the chitlin or whatever, and, like, fill it with silver. Like, all over the palm. What is it called? I'm sorry.
Chitin.
Yes, that
Chitlin.
Gum, yo.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah, your arm is actually pretty solidly reinforced with that stuff, but if you like, you could swap it out for silver.
I like what it is. I just want to add some silver in my palms and my arms.
Okay, so just like
enough that if a dark fae or somebody grabbed or touched it or came in contact with them, it would hurt them.
Okay, interesting.
Like, even if it's just like bolts screwed into the palm randomly, or like in the fingertips, or like decor on the arm. I just want silver, like some sort of inlay in there.
Okay.
This is mostly in anticipation of having to grab Leonte again, and maybe it would help, like, pin her down, you know?
Okay.
Oh my god.
Oh
Still
my
trying
god.
to kill you.
No, I have to now.
She
I
has
don't
to.
want to. I have to.
She named her price and sealed a bargain.
Yes.
Oh shit.
I'm fucked.
Okay.
I thought I could kill her in that one go, and then I didn't, so now I'm fucked.
So as
So
this
wait, what if
person...
she actually does like kill Leonte, but then Leonte respawns?
Well, that's what I'm hoping for.
Then everybody's gonna find out that Leonte can respawn.
Yeah, but does that kill count?
I'm hoping that's the loophole, because Meryl Suhana didn't say she had to stay dead, she just said I had to kill Leonte. So as a player, I'm hoping that I can just kill her and be like, hey look, you didn't specify. I did kill her, now give me my power.
She didn't specify.
As a character, Olivier has no idea, she's just gonna do it. Now she has to.
Why not just kill the monkey?
Rourkefall?
I don't care.
Gorilla?
Kill Rourkefall.
Yeah, cause weren't you guys there when she got like...
Because nobody knows that
no
Rourkefall is
one
related except for Torvald.
Okay.
Torvald has a suspicion.
I thought that Olivier knew.
No, suspicion maybe, but killing Rourkefall also doesn't help me. Killing Leonte helps me.
And Torvald doesn't know like 100%.
Yeah, Torvald knows part of it.
Oh.
He knows that like Rourkefall and Leonte are now like linked through death.
Would that count though if like she killed the gorilla and then that killed Leonte?
I mean, it would technically kill Leonte, so I suppose so. That's how deals
I don't know
work.
if Olivier's thought of that. I don't think she knows about. Does she know about Rook Roll being
No,
dead?
Olivier doesn't know the connection with Rorqual.
Yeah,
And
so she wouldn't
Rorqual
think to
is
do that.
technically alive. Leonte is technically dead.
Yeah.
Yeah, she wouldn't think of that.
So Olivier, as this person sort of returns, the receptionist kind of returns with Master Algrid. Looking at Master Algrid, you see he's sort of got like these dark rings under his eyes.
Oh my.
And looking at you, he says, "Rousseau, good, good, I have it. Here, follow me." He sort of like jerks his head and sort of leads you to the back. And he says, "It was a tremendous undertaking. I'm not sure how I feel about what I've done, but I've had this strange drive to complete this project, as if I was meant to do this."
It is your inspiration at work.
And he brings you to this tightly, it's like this sort of steampunk looking sphere.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, "This bomb will blow a massive hole in the area around it. I don't think there's anything with this kind of firepower on Earth right now, or in Eodon right now."
Magnifique. Are we talking miles? Feet? City? The entire city?
And he says, "A good chunk of the city. Would certainly punch a hole in an army. I just need to know. You told me this would save the world. How is this going to save the world?"
There is a monster of an army up north that does nothing but kill and pillage and take over everything it crosses. It is destroyed Boletarian. It is responsible for the ships going missing. It is a force that not just anyone can stop. But I am hoping with this machine, it will give us a decisive victory and the momentum we need to end these forces and bring about peace not only to the city but for the entire continent as well.
Yeah.
He looks at you.
Yeah.
And he sort of narrows his eyes and he says, "Good, good. Then I can rest. The Duke, he knows about this, doesn't he?"
Does he? I don't think I told him.
Did you tell him? You told him there were You did actually. You told him that Animali had like usurped the throne and that you were trying to take it back.
Oh yeah, I didn't tell him about the bomb though.
You didn't tell him about the bomb. But
Yeah.
but Allgrid's asking if the Duke knows about the threat to the north, because all of Port Hildian still doesn't really know what's going on with the ships that went to Boletaria.
The Duke knows. I am trying to establish communication and space to get ahead of this, but not many people know. We don't want them to panic without more information. The only reason you know is, I mean, you helped me build this arm. I trust you. I respect your work, and you're like a mentor and a father to me. So I think I can trust you.
And he nods and he says, "Of course. If there's anything else I can do to help, I'm glad to be part of it. And I want the Duke to know he can count on me too."
Oui, I will pass on this message, but essentially I just want to get a rundown of how the thing works to see casually if it's like remote detonated. Do I have to push a button? Does it need to be like ignited?
It's
or, like...
timed. It's a timed explosive.
Nice. And walking in here, oh sorry, when we walked into the bomb, was it behind any like locked doors, guarded things, or whatever, like a passcode to get in here, or like...
Well, right now it's like in his personal workshop, which is like a room that is just decked out with like all of his stuff, but it's like sort of tucked in the corner with a sheet over it.
How heavy would you say that is?
It's pretty heavy. I would
Like-
say it's about like 60 pounds. Like, you could carry it, but it's gonna be heavy.
Okay. Because I might send somebody to come fetch this later. But I'm trying to think about it so I could tell Mister to expect this person and figure out where I want to stow it, set it off. I mean, not yet, but she's gonna.
But he basically, long story short, he presents you with this bomb. He says, you've kind of told him like this is what it's for. He determined that that was the truth, and he says like if the Duke needs me, like I'm happy to like quietly contribute to this.
Okay, she's just gonna again like gently clap him on the back and rub him and be like, "You are doing this world a great favor, and I shall not forget this. And I will tell the Duke all good things about you. It looks like you need some much needed sleep though, but please remember, do not tell anyone about this. And in a few days here, I will send someone to fetch this and to mount it and prepare it for a day I hope never has to happen." It's gonna happen.
He says, yes, of course.
May I feel free to come enjoy beer and food at my place, you know. Same thing, like
same thing. He's like thank you, I appreciate that, but
you're always welcome. I'll give you gold.
I'm gonna go to sleep.
Here is.
He sort of locks up shop behind you guys.
I'm just gonna give him like 20 gold coins or something. That's
Okay.
not as generous as the other lady, but
Word. Okay.
we'll work on it later.
Okay. Anything else you want from the Engineers Guild? If you want to commission like to get your palm basically added with silver,
Yes.
we could do that. It's gonna take a few days to like put the parts together, but Allgrid has the schematics for it.
Okay, cool.
It's gonna take a bit of gold for this. You're probably looking at like 90 gold or so
Okay. That's fine.
to get like these machined silver parts that are durable enough.
It was. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So at this point, you guys are all finishing your stuff up.
Execution.
Katarina, you are gonna be making your way back to the Sailor Song, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay. Olivier, you're headed back to the Sailor Song as well to go meet with Katarina. Lance, at this point, you have finished your tour and you are dining in the Gourmands Guild. Make me a perception check as you glance out the window.
Me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm going to make my perception check now. And I'm gonna roll a 9.
A 9? Okay. Never mind. I guess you don't see her. Olivier, you are going to make your way back to the Sailor Song. So, Katarina and Olivier, you guys are there. And we will just do that scene. Lance, are you going to go to the execution later?
Hell yeah.
Okay. Cool. Let me bump us over to the Sailor Song. So as you guys return to the Sailor Song, Olivier, one of the first things you're going to notice is business is a little bit more popping around here.
Yeah.
And Olivier finds Katarina sitting at the table here, basically just waiting to reconvene with Olivier there. And Olivier Jugoslav is faithfully behind the counter.
She like nods at him.
He nods.
I'll talk to him in a minute, but
nods
just
at you
him.
as he just sort of continues like polishing glassware.
Looking around, would you say, is it mostly people affiliated with this bar, or is it like a good number of strangers too?
There's a good number of strangers. There's a surprising number of strangers actually. I should probably like kind of flesh this out a little bit more. There's a good amount of people here. It seems like this bar is really starting to pick up.
Yeah. Nice.
Certainly more so than a few days ago. It seems the
Like
discount
overnight.
at the Fox's Den and the discount for the Fighters Club, or the Broken Fist rather, which has also been advertised for all newcomers, has certainly helped.
Excellent. Yeah, I'll have to check in with those boys. But
Yeah, so this place is
and
getting
girls.
Lance has an
pretty
insane
popular fast. Lance, you actually have come here.
Yeah, I've come here. I've never seen the Broken Fist posters though.
Oh yeah, you just got back for that. That was a recent development. You did actually. Did you find the Broken Fist? No, you just found the hanging one. Okay. So Olivier and Katerina, you guys are sitting there. There's a hanging that's going to occur in a few hours for Olivier's dude.
Okay.
Do you guys have any interest in attending that?
In the execution?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't care, but if they want to go, I'm down to go.
Olivier,
Do
do
you
you
wanna
have
go,
any interest
Olivier?
in that?
Olivier's like looking around, admiring the fact that there's now people, and like somewhere in the back of her brain calculating, wait, is this gonna put me under? Do I need to not give any more discounts? I need to talk to somebody about this. Like, she says, she flags somebody down to get food and alcohol, but she will turn to
Food?
Katerina. Yeah, we're in a bar.
Kind of funny you should ask that.
What?
A barmaid is gonna bring you guys that food and alcohol you so desire.
But she's gonna look at Katerina and be like, there is a hanging in a few hours. You could stop by if you would like, but nom nom nom.
It's like people go to a meteor shower. They go to like a fireworks show. It's like, oh, there's an execution coming up. You want to go?
I mean, what do you do those days?
You know,
Nothing.
Yeah.
it
It's exciting.
sounds kind of macabre, but like, yes, actually. It's
Yeah,
like,
I know.
it's something that everybody's talking about. Like, a lot of people are gonna be there because the whole town's been told about it. And it's also like, hey guys, we can all chill now. This murderer has been caught and is about to be killed. So it is kind of this
Or
town
have
of it.
they?
Let's go. But Olivier's gonna say, I must admit, I'm a little curious to see the face of this alleged homeless killer, but I just have a few more things to take care of this city. But I plan on recruiting a party of adventurers to investigate these ships going missing up north and make my way to Boletarian, maybe. It has been my mission to head north, and I wish to proceed with that. Do you have any thoughts?
If you wish to attend this hanging, I will accompany you, but it's not usually my cup of tea.
It is a little gruesome, but I am
It's
a cat.
barbaric.
I am
Oh,
a cat
it's
that this
gruesome.
curiosity has got.
Burning people with acid. That's pretty gruesome.
If you
Yeah, we're
would-
kicking them down holes into infernal planes.
Well, I didn't watch you do that.
No, that made me feel so bad. Like,
Katerina just like shrugs her shoulders and she's like, if you wish to go, I will accompany you. But then we must head north.
d'accord. I need to speak to the Duke before I leave. Before I leave. And check in with my fight club, but that is all the business I've left in the city.
Well, I might have one more business adventure for you if you're interested.
She kind of tilts her head. Oui, what is this?
I want one of those, and I want to point at her, circle it on top of her head.
And for shits and giggles, draconic, she says, "Oh, this?" Pointing at her helm.
Just obvious, just like look puzzled and just assume yes, that's what I'm talking about. I'll pay you.
Pay me, you say?
Yes.
What if I make
I'm-
this for you, but I trade it in for a favor later?
How about tree fitting?
A favor, you
God
say?
damn it.
Oui. I am not a magical wild being, but if I do this for you, I will just ask for something later in return.
Well, what kind of favor?
She like is grubbing down and swigging her beer and tamping out her bowl to like smoke it again with this kind of look in her eye of like, huh. She says out loud,
Can Katerina like lean forward with her arms crossed and like on the table, kind of like eyeing her?
Yeah, of course.
She gives a sheepish smile and says, to be honest, I do not know what I need now. I just feel like there are maybe other things that might be useful in the future for me than the gold you are willing to offer. If you like, we can talk about it when I figure it out, but I figure favors are a little more important than gold. And this is not an easy thing to make. I almost quite by accident made it.
Do you need this thing right now, Katerina, or to the point that like she's basically saying like if you'll just like owe her an undefined favor, she'll agree to make you one.
No. I know. I don't. Well, obviously it's gonna take her some time to make it. So like I want her to make it, but I'm not too keen on giving out favors. Katerina kind of just like thinking in her head, and what was that?
That was my phone. Sorry, I got a notification.
Katerina's just like thinking in her head, and she just looks at Olivier and says, "When you ask me this favor, can we agree to negotiate it then?"
She hums in ponderment and says, I do not see why a problem.
Okay, then I'm fine with those terms.
She sticks her hand out, her metal hand, to shake on it.
Katerina takes her glove off and she shakes her metal hand.
We are agreed. In that case, in my spare time, when I run these boats, I will probably get most of my work done for you, but in my downtime, I shall start this work for you.
Thank you.
Oui, but be fair warned, you will understand everyone, but you will not be able to speak to them.
Yes.
It only works one way.
Katerina's just like thinking in her head about when she stole it from Olivier and like how she already knows how to work it. She's like grinning.
You are not hungry at all? There's plenty of this food.
No, I ate earlier. I'm okay. I will take a drink though.
Oui. Let me go fetch one from Jugoslav. Let me go see Jugoslav and I shall procure one for you, madame, mademoiselle.
Tequila if you have it.
Let us see what this fine establishment is stocked with. She's gonna up and go to the bar and I guess inquire about tequila, but in her brain she's like, what the fuck is tequila? And like, so yeah, I'm just gonna make my, she kind of like holds up a finger like, wait for a second. Yeah. Yugoslavia.
Oh, Miss Rousseau, it's good to see you again.
Oui, it is fine to hold you in my eyes.
I trust you have been well.
These are always ups and downs, but I am all in one piece. She kind of like...
Of course!
I knew I would like to, Sugarlog.
Have you spoken to Yondro? He looks for you.
No, this is the first of my places I've been. I made a few stops, but not yet.
Well, boss, look, I believe there are money problems. But Yondro knows more of it than me.
We as business not being sufficient?
Oh no, on the contrary, business has been quite good. There have been many newcomers. Many. I believe Yondro was talking about membership fee. It will become a problem over time.
Oui, you are right. Maybe I shall talk to him about this, but she kind of like turns her head. That lady over there wishes to drink tequila? Je ne sais pas. Do you know this drink?
I do know of this drink. It's the drink of my people. And he sort of like walks back to the bar and fishes out like a bottle, a clear bottle. And he pours like a light brown liquid in there. He says,
I
"You
am,
never try his good stuff."
I must admit, I am more of a beer whiskey person, but I am curious. Let me try this. What is this?
It's very crisp. It's good.
Is this the drink of your people?
Indeed. He cuts a slice of a fruit and he gives it to you. And he says, "You drink, but you drink quickly. One swallow, and then you bite this."
This is fascinating. And your people is Constanza? And let me get another one so I can do this with you. I'll show off. That I can
Indeed.
drink.
I am Constantin, from the lands to the south. I understand there has been some tension between your people and mine, but it is no problem for me.
Yes, I have no problem for you. People are people. Maybe we should chat one day and see where our histories align.
Ha! Perhaps. You don't drink this without your friend. It's rude. Here. And he sets a glass down and he pours one and he cuts another fruit and he says, "This is for little one over there. You enjoy, huh?"
Olivier smiles and nods and picks up the drinks and the limes and heads back. It's good to see you. Good to see you, Jugoslav.
Jugoslav. It's good,
Jugoslav.
boss.
I will be in touch. Oh, now I speak like you. Oh.
I will be here. It's good.
Salute, or wait, what do they say in French? I don't remember. But yes. Cheers.
Cheers.
Bonjour. Bonjour.
Hello.
Bonjour.
Bonjour.
So Katerina, Olivier returns with 2 small glasses of a light brown liquid and 2 slices of fruit. It's a familiar
Chocolat?
drink for you, Katerina.
This is what Sugarlove has recommended. So, I think this is for you, and I'm sure you know how to do this. Just don't make fun of me if I mess it up.
This is perfect. You never had this before.
Me? I mostly drink ale and whiskey.
Oh well, you're going to love this. A bit too many and you'll be crazy.
She kind of like grins and laughs. She's like, you've not seen me in the days where I did stands on kicks and took those downs. And she brings out the bottle of her like crazy family whiskey from Como. You have not tried this. One sip and it will knock you on your ass. It's quite powerful.
I bet it is. Shall we cheers?
Oui.
Okay.
What do your people say when they cheers?
Yura.
Ira? Ira! And then slam it down
Clank
and
and
bite the... Yes. Go through the motions, slam it, drink it, chug it, bite the lime.
Okay, you drink it. It's not as sweet or as powerful tasting as the whiskey you're accustomed to. It's certainly, it's liquor, so it's harsher than ale, of course. But it goes down fairly easily, and after biting down on the fruit, as is custom for Constantins, you find the flavor is muted, very crisp and very easy, and a pleasant buzz begins to settle over you.
Looking at Olivier, Katerina wants to say, well, what did you think of it? And she's like smiling with a big smirk.
This is what I imagine water would taste like if you could drink it.
Assumably, Katerina, have you taken your mask off?
Yeah, like if I'm inside, I have my mask off usually. But
Okay.
I have the mask off.
Okay.
It is definitely lighter than I imagined.
Oh, but it'll definitely hit you.
That fruit is very, very... has a certain je ne sais quoi. It completes the drink. I think this would be a good summer drink. I think I want one more. Sugar love.
The boss.
Rinografo, si Fenoleti, por favor, and me too.
Wow.
I'm sorry. I'm just used to saying another
perfect.
round. Shit. I can't even think.
Just
Yeah.
good.
S'il vous
We'll have
plaît,
another
another
two Yugo Club.
round.
Ooh, I want to do. Well, I don't know. I want to do it. So can Katerina kind of like look at Yugoslav and just be like, we'll have another two Yugoslav, but like say it to where Olivier can notice that like I can say his name like really well.
Yeah, sure. So Olivier, you're having this merry moment with Katerina and Jugoslav, and Katerina calls over to Jugoslav, and you notice that Katerina very naturally pronounces Jugoslav's name, and sort of invites him over. Jugoslav is going to grab a glass for himself and laughing heartily, he is going to sort of head around here and come join you guys, setting a glass down for himself. And he says, "We do one more, yeah."
Yes, we do. And then Katerina looks at Yugoslav and she goes, Yura.
And he says, "Yura, I like you." And he pours around for everybody. And
Yura!
Yura! You guys do your shots.
Clink.
Olivier and Katerina, roll me Constitution saves.
What's Constitution save?
So, looking at your character sheet, your Constitution score, you're not proficient in Constitution save. So, a save is when something is happening to you. So, looking at your Constitution score, what's the modifier?
My modifier is going
There's
to
a button you can hit too.
There is?
On the character.
It's in Roll20, which you don't really use.
Constitution? I don't see a Constitution. I see.
So
Yeah.
it's with your main stats like strength and dexterity. What's your
Oh,
Constitution score?
It says 10 and it says 0,
10.
0.
Okay, so that's a +0. So go ahead and roll a d20 to see how buzzed this is gonna make you.
Okay, the only thing is I lost my d20, so I can't find it.
You lost your d20.
Well, like I just had it, now I can't find it. I literally just had it.
Okay, no problem. Do you want me to just roll it for you?
Yeah, can you roll it for me until I find it?
Okay, there you go. I press the button. You got a 14, not too bad.
Ow.
What'd you get, Olivier?
19.
A 19. So Olivier, you're still doing good. Katerina, you're starting to feel a little buzzed. Olivier, you watch as Katerina is sort of like leaning onto the table now, and she's laughing freely with Jugoslav.
Hold on, I can't hear you. Okay, I'm sorry.
Oh my gosh.
What did I get?
You got
14.
a 14. So you're beginning to get a little bit buzzed. Olivier's still pretty crisp, but it's gonna hit her in a bit. And Katerina, you're sort of laughing with Jugoslav and Olivier here.
Do I notice that she looks more relaxed? Like maybe her guard's down ever so slightly. I'm not gonna do anything, but
make me an insight check.
I just like, is this the first time I see her as a person instead of like, is this companion potential danger thing? Insight, you say?
Mm-hmm.
12.
12? Okay. You're still not completely sure because this is one of Meryl Suhana's students. So she could be, but you're not totally keen, but she looks like some of her defenses are down. You're not sure if they really are or not, but she seems to be enjoying herself with a buzz.
Okay. Won't push it.
You will notice that it's kind of hard to tell. Even though she's a little buzzed, her cheeks are a little red, her eyes still look sharp.
Okay, and like looking at the two side by side, they share similar features, or?
Jugoslav is an older man. It looks like his hair once was a little bit darker, but he's got a lot of white in it now. Katerina, not so much. She's very fair complected. She's not as tan as Jugoslav is. But Katerina's hair is also jet black.
Okay.
In fact,
this is
comparative purposes, I'll just go ahead and do this.
This might be my Tifa. Okay, this might be my new favorite drink. We should do a special on this. What is the day your people celebrated?
Which is what?
Like, what's like? Essentially, she wants to set up like a happy hour or something. Like, just maybe on a certain day, these drinks are like $1 less, or maybe before a certain time, like you can get these for $1 less. Like, she's essentially thinking happy hour in her brain.
Jugoslav thinks for a bit and he says, we have certain holidays, but for drink like this, we drink at all times.
Well, Yugoslav, yeah, I think I would like to let people try this drink more. I think it is delightful. Maybe to help promotions, we will. I think I would like another. We should make it a little dollar off, maybe, or copper off.
It's
silver
good.
off. Maybe first one is a discount, or maybe every what is slow day here? What is our slowest day here?
Probably Mondays.
Right, she like slams her hand on the table, renewed vigor. Every Monday until after the sun is in midday sky, until it starts to set in the dusk form. On Mondays, this drink will be fourth the price, or a fourth off the price. Whatever. Yeah,
it's
you get what I'm
good.
saying.
Might have more problems here, but it's okay. I'll take care of it all.
Is there anything you need, Hugo?
You may want to speak with Yonrul on this.
It sounds like I should. I will go there maybe after the singing.
Things here at the Sailor Song are okay. We don't have problems.
It is just the broken feast?
I believe there are money issues.
Okay, she's gonna do one more shot and then tell Katarina that she needs to go take care of some business at the Broken Fist, and she's more than welcome to come. Otherwise, she'll head for a spot on the roof by the hanging.
Alright, Katarina, are you also taking another shot?
Yes.
Alright, I need both of you guys to make me a constitution save.
Oh shit. What's gonna happen? I don't trust this dice no more. Or like this, what is it? This thing.
What?
I just don't trust the roll 20 to do me solid.
I did you pretty solid just then.
So
Nice.
you just rolled the. How do you do it on the computer? How do I roll
So
it?
to do it on the computer, you have to click on the newspaper-looking icon in the upper right-hand corner. Find your character, Katarina, the one without the traveling clothes, and go to your character sheet and click on the Constitution save button.
Go to my character and click that button.
Yeah, on the character sheet tab.
I just clicked the save button.
There you go.
There you
Did I
go.
do it? What did I do?
Katarina, you are getting pretty
What
buzzed.
the fuck?
What'd you roll?
What did I roll?
You rolled a 3. So, Olivier, you're still going strong. Your buzz is going to hit you in a bit, but you're not quite there yet. You're like maybe a little tipsy. Katarina, you're starting to feel pretty relaxed, and Olivier, you'd be able to observe that Katarina's loosening up a good deal. She's like kind of leaning on the table a little bit. Her cheeks are flush. Yugoslav, accepting your proposal, is going to head back behind the bar and get back to work, but quite cheerfully.
Yeah.
Okay. So, what do you guys want to do from here? Are y'all heading?
I apparently need to go check on these money problems.
Yeah, that is a thing that Yandril was a little concerned about.
Yeah, I'll go check on Yandril, and Katarina can come, but I guess I'll just check on that real quick, but I want to make it in time for this public hanging. And get a nice spot right up on the roof, because I can just walk right up, and she's sneaky, or I can carry her.
So, like, what are you saying to Katarina? Are you just going like, hey, like, I need to go check on something?
Yeah, I need to go check in my guild. You can come if you want.
Go check on our fight club.
Okay, I'll go.
Okay.
Okay.
It seems I need to put some things in order. That's delightful. I need to remember his name. But it shouldn't be more than a moment. If you'd like to join.
Yes, I would. I'm having quite fun, actually.
I don't know if I have my bottle of vodka anymore. Jugo!
What can I do?
Is there more bottles of that stuff? I would like to take one with me. I will, of course, pay for it if I want,
He says, of course. This whole place is yours. These bottles all belong to you.
Really, this is true. I'm going to take one of these bottles, and I'll see.
Katarina just like looks at the bottle like, oh my god, yeah.
And maybe she's like gonna walk up to the bar and take this bottle, and as she gets to the bar, she's gonna start grabbing like limes and stuffing them in her pockets in her what is it? Her row of useful items.
Okay.
And just start stashing them in pockets everywhere, and put the bottle somewhere in there as well.
Katarina's gonna like come up behind Olivier and just like look at her like super cheery, like, oh, some for the road, I see.
Oh, oui, that is the execution of what?
We can laugh at his hanging.
Oui.
Oh my god, you guys.
I think I'm starting to like you, Katarina.
Then I think I'm starting to like you.
Alright, let's go see what my money problem is.
Okay.
Look at all these brawlers!
You guys head over to the derelict amphitheater, where Yonjul is instructing. And as usual, he is looking pretty beat up. And Olivia and Katarina, the two of you guys are going to enter.
Is it just from the fights, or like, is it something a health potion could cure, or like?
Maybe. The side of his face looks, a little swollen. It has been lately.
Alright,
she never really thought much of it.
Okay, but as I approach him, I'm just gonna like take out one of my. I have 10 best healing potions. I'm just gonna give him one.
Okay. So you go over
as
to
you were
help
saying,
out Yonjul.
Yes.
Alright, so as he sees you, he's like, hey boss, it's good to see ya.
Yonjul, your face. Here.
And he says, oh yeah, it's healing up nicely. Roll me a perception check, Olivier.
Perception. Let's see. Ooh, I modified that. I rolled an 18 plus 3, 21.
An 18. Okay, a 21. Okay, wow. Alright, so as you're looking at him, you didn't quite notice it before, but looking at him now, you see his eyes are two different colors.
She, like, is in that fun little buzz where, like, they don't quite stand straight and they just kind of, like, hover.
Mm-hmm.
But she's gonna peer deeply at him, like, squint and be like, were your eyes always like this?
And,
Lots of different colors.
He sort of looks bashful for a second and he says, no, actually. And he sort of reaches like across the scar on his left eye where these fairly fresh wounds are still healing up. He says, actually, this eye's gone bad.
Who helped you? Who did this?
And he sort of like holds up a hand, and he looks almost a little like embarrassed to talk about it. But he says, it's this one asshole that ruined my eye. We had a weapons match about a week ago, non-lethal. This guy bashed the hell out of my eye with the pommels of his hand axes. Doc said some bone got in it, but I was out cold until he'd finished the job. Most of the swelling's gone down now.
This is not good. Maybe I will take my fist to his face.
And he says, maybe, but that guy was something else. I haven't seen him since. But I have this to thank him for. Kind of taps his eyeball.
Do you know his name?
Lots, something like that. He's an
Does
ugly
he
guy.
does he have any distinguishing features?
Yeah, actually. He fights with a lance. Not something I've seen too often. Oh, maybe that was it. Lance.
Alright, back.
I think that's his
What?
name. She's
What's going
talking to
on?
Yandril about his fucked up eye.
Whoops.
And he says, yeah, I think that was it actually. Lance. He fights with a lance. He's got some hand axes too. He got me with his axes here. But, I mean, it was a fair match. And be honest, I don't remember much, but fuck. And he says, good thing I've got 2 of them.
Give me 1 moment. This will feel weird, but she like motions for him to like bring his face down. She wants to inspect the eye and like pop it out. May I see that for? See? Oh, now I feel bad. Oh, I just wanna. She wants to study it.
Shove your thumb in his eye suddenly.
Well, I mean, if he can do it himself, but she just wants to get it. May I see your eye for a minute?
He says, I guess so. It's still a little tender. Do you need to? And
You watch this guy's eye
you
out?
watch as his fingers sort of like reach in and sort of like dig in around his eye socket, and they're sort of like in the cuts a little bit, but after a moment he sort of like pops out like this glass eyeball.
Oh, glass.
It's a little wet, like moist.
Oh yeah. It's in my middle hand, but she just really quick is gonna like take a sketch of it and like jot down the measurements and everything and whatever.
What are you doing there, boss?
I have lost an arm and it has never stopped me from accomplishing what I want. I happen to have a talent in creating things, and maybe I can do something about your eye. But I do not know how successful it would be. It's just a thought.
Well, that'd be something else. The doc told me I'm probably not gonna see out of this eye again, without an eyeball.
We shall see. If I can make an arm, why can't I make an eyeball?
Well, that'd be something else. I'd owe you.
Oui, but for matters of why I'm here, she like briefly looks around, looks at all the recruits. Jugo has told me to see you about some finances.
Oh, yes. Well, and he sort of like gestures to all these fighters who are like sort of training. Says, as you might have noticed, there's more people around here than there were before.
Oui.
A lot more, in fact. In this past month, we've had 83 new recruits.
Oh,
Or in these past few days, we've had 83 new recruits. Your reputation and that discount that's being marketed is doing a lot for our membership.
Oui, but
Well, the thing is, you gave me 100 gold to recruit people with, and after printing out those flyers and offering to pay everyone 8 gold, or 8 silver, after this next month, if I pay everyone 1 gold, that'll pretty much put us past the 100 gold that you've given me.
So how much are you telling me that you need? For maybe once we hit 100 people, we will close out the enrollment for now, and after all that, people must prove their worth, and
Well, that's the thing. We've almost hit that 100 people. In fact, we're just about there. And we've got new people coming every day or so.
You alright? How much gold do you think you'll need for the rest of these people, including up to 100 and 100 for a month?
Hard to say. But it's gonna get a lot more expensive once everybody's here and we're dishing out 1 gold per member.
Okay, how about this? She fishes around and gives him 180 gold.
Katarina, make me an insight check.
This is for now.
19.
19. It looks like Olivier's, what she's doing here has some need of money. You just notice this. Like,
I need to collect from my bar as well. 'Cause that was the point also, that was to help fund everything.
Are you running out of money? Karina, goddammit, Katerina asks Olivier.
Olivier thinks about it, and she says, there was always need of more for this type of venture. I was hoping the bar would help supplement the costs. But, there are always hiccups when you first start something. At the moment, it is only doable because of my savings of gold, but, it would be nice to find steady revenue, income.
Well, I happen to come in cross of large amounts of money pretty frequently. Katerina kind of like chuckling to herself.
Right? Olivia's like, She's thinking, is she a drug smuggler? That's what she thinks.
If you ever needed a loan, I wouldn't mind helping you. For a favor. Kind of like cocking her eyebrows at Olivier.
This is tricky.
Why is that?
I do not like loans, but maybe if there was a way to work out something. We can go over details later, but I must think first. But remind me later on, we will talk about it. And then she turns back to y'all, gives him the gold and says, this is for now. Essentially, like...
How much gold are you giving him?
180.
180, okay.
Yeah. I want to cut the cap off of recruits around 100, and those will be the ones that get paid. And I could see their backlash happening, so for everyone after the 100, we're gonna yeah, they can recruit it. We'll see if people...
You can take time, between sessions to figure it out.
Okay, yeah, essentially, cut people off at 100, and they're still inquiring. Be like, well, if there's slots opening up, we'll fill them, or, hang around for a little bit, and, we'll give you some meals, but we won't give you money yet, just to see if, this is what you want to do.
Okay, just keep in mind...
We're working on the details.
Just keep in mind, the whole town knows about this, and Yondrel's telling you, we're already almost at 100, and this has only been, a few days since the flyers.
My god, you are right. Fine.
You are a really popular person around here.
That's true. Just, never mind. Don't cut out 100. Keep the 80 gold for the expenses of, no, wait.
You're gonna have to start thinking about how to fund an army, because you are building an army.
Yeah, I was hoping the bar would help a little bit, but...
It will. It will, but there's a lot involved.
Yeah, I'll figure that out in a minute.
Yeah, so no worries. We can figure that out later. Anything else you guys want to do?
Mm-mm.
Okay. Then in that case, I'm going to move everybody
Execution.
to the Hildian Gallows.
Kill.
We're just going to say, we are sort of mixed into this crowd here.
I want to go somewhere high.
Somewhere high? Okay. You would certainly be able to...
perched somewhere.
Yeah, you'd be able to find your way up onto one of these.
I can bring Katerina with me if she needs help getting up there.
She could probably acrobat her way up there.
'Cause I'm just gonna straight up walk. Yes, shoes of climbing.
Okay, Lance, you can be here too.
Alright. Not on the roof.
Not on the roof, but you're down in the crowd.
Is it far enough to see with unaided vision, or do I need to get out my eagle eye?
No, you can see clearly enough. Okay. So, when everybody arrives here... One sec.
Is this all rich people?
Yeah.
Most of the people left in Port Hildian are aristocrats of some kind.
Cool. He almost died.
Yeah, the harsh taxation has made life in Port Hildian kind of unaffordable for a lot of the more impoverished people now that the Merchant Union has taken over. And they're just yep, we're gonna leave that broom tax in place because everyone else can afford it.
taxation. Where's the rep? Oh wait, we killed them all.
Okay, is everyone ready?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh god, I'm so full.
Sten. God, this music's not playing. I'm so sad, stupid internet. Play. Oh man.
Oh god damn it! I was fucking muted that whole time. Okay, one more time. All right, so you guys are all gathered around the Port Hildian gallows here.
Okay.
Lance, you're down here in the crowd. Olivia and Katarina, you guys are up here. Are you making any attempt to be hidden up there?
I would assume so, yeah.
You don't have to. It's up to you guys.
I don't hide now in this. I do, but like, no, I'm not gonna like go out of my way to hide. I'm just sitting up there.
Okay, that's fine. Katarina and Olivier, the two of you guys get a few looks from the city guards. Lance, go ahead and roll me perception at advantage to notice Olivier Rousseau with her metal arm sitting up there.
She just like waves at the guards.
5 and 7.
A 5 and a 7. God damn it, Lance. Okay. So you're just focused on what's going on here. And basically, a city guard has this man who's sort of like standing on a barrel from these gallows here. And the city guard is just like announcing like this is the criminal, like Sten, who has been charged with masterminding the homeless murders throughout Port Hildian, as well as being responsible for the murders of some recent city guards. And all of you guys sort of hear jeering from the crowd. Olivier.
Oh, I'm gonna yell like with the crowd, like, kill him!
Kill him!
Kill him!
Make me a performance check, Lance.
Okay.
Really get your message across.
14.
14. Okay, so you hear very loudly Olivia and Katarina, some guy go like, kill him! Kill him! And one of the city guards over here is like, settle down. So Katarina and Olivia, you guys watch as they ask this guy, and Lance too, I suppose, do you have any last words? And
Do I recognize him as the guy that I...
as a matter of fact, Olivier, you do not. This is a young man. His name may be Sten, but this is definitely not the guy from before.
Thought so.
In fact, make me a perception check.
Perception. Yes. I'm so glad I upped that one. 16.
16. Olivier, you're looking at this guy and you're like, wait a minute, like this is not the guy. And as you're scanning the crowd, you notice a particular face amongst the others here. And this guy is watching, his jaw very tight with a very dark look on his face as he watches this young man up here. And as the guard is asking him if he has any last words, this young man sort of speaks out and says, he says, the blood on my hands has lightened the burden on our home, on you all. I love my city, and will gladly die for it. I would have committed my crimes again to see a better tomorrow for the rest of you. There's a sort of pause, and he takes a deep breath, and he says, the pearl goes unpolluted.
Sorry.
The pearl goes unpolluted. And he starts to like, as he's like choking, and the city guard sort of kicks the barrel out from under his feet. You all watch as he sputters and convulses, his eyes bulging, and some of the crowd begins to jeer. And Lance, you hear quiet remarks of good riddance and better off. But Olivier, you watch as this man down here in the crowd sort of narrows his eyes with a very dark look on his face. And Einhard Vladi, the treasurer of Port Hildian, who's looking very calm, says, and with this, the nonsense with the murders in our fair city can be concluded. We can all travel about, resting easy. Thank goodness this has all been put to rest.
Yeah.
And the city guards all here, all around, are sort of just like glaring at this crowd who's just kind of jeering. After a while, this is going to disperse, but Lance, you... Actually, no, you... Make me one more perception check to notice Olivier and Katarina just sort of like blatantly sitting up there.
Alright.
Gesundheit.
A 5.
Okay. So afterwards, Katarina and Olivier, you guys have been freed up here. Lance, what are you going to do?
I'm gonna talk to Einhard before he leaves.
Talk to
Did you?
Einhard.
Yeah, before he left the thing.
Interesting. Okay.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say, coincidentally, I also wanted to approach him to see what was going on with the treasury.
Interesting. Okay.
I'm
Okay.
closer to him.
That's true.
All right. So as the crowds sort of like begin to disperse, Lance and Olivier are each going
He's
to.
gonna tell Katarina, they're like, I'm gonna go talk to him real quick.
Lance, as you kind of step forward, these city guards are gonna sort of like hold up a hand and say like hold up, no one approaches the Duke.
And I say, I was employed by him. I just have a question.
And as Einhard is walking by, he sort of pauses. He says, "Wait, I know this one. It's all right." And the guards sort of like stand up straight and allow you to pass by. At this same time, Olivier, you and Katarina are sort of like making your way down.
Town?
Yes, making your way downtown towards the Duke here.
That was for Jacob, I'm sorry. That one was for
I'm sure he'll appreciate it. And similarly, these guards over here are gonna be
He'll
like,
sing the first
wait,
30 seconds. of
hold
the
up.
song.
Before they recognize you, Olivier, seeing your metal arm, sort of realize like, sir, it's Olivier Rousseau. He's like, oh yes. of
Wait,
course."
so I recognize that name. Guards say that.
Yes. So the guards are like, sir, it's Olivier Rousseau, and Einhard sort of turning says like, ah, yes. It's good to see you again, Rousseau. And the guards kind of back off against you and Katarina, although both of these guards are eyeing Katarina because she's wearing her all black getup.
Oui, I just wanted a moment of your time, but it seems like you're in the middle of something, and she's like, looks over at Lance, motioning to him, like, I don't want to interrupt, just, you're talking, you know? I need to talk to you, but I can wait.
I look at Olivier Rousseau and look back at Einhard and say, it's like, so, you've had a lot of murders going on in this town, huh?
For a while, but hopefully now that can all be put at ease. And he sort of nods over at Rousseau and Katarina, and he says, it's very good to see the two of you again. And looking back at you, Lance, he says, if I'm not mistaken, I recently employed you for that particular venture. I heard all went well. Welcome back to the city.
Went off without a hitch. But tell me more about that murderer. What did he do exactly?
And sort of speaking loudly enough for all of you guys here to listen, he sort of like nods over at the corpse that's kind of hanging over here. And he says, that young man is responsible for many deaths, I'm afraid. It seems he was spreading a good deal of information encouraging others to take action against the homeless. We've a great many sources that confirmed him as the source of all of this.
That's terrible. I was once homeless myself. Didn't quite enjoy it. Glad I wasn't born in this city. I would have probably been one of those killed.
It's good you got the killer. Good news indeed.
And the Duke sort of turns at you, speaking up Olivier, and he says, "Ah, how rude of me. Miss Rousseau." And he sort of looks at you for a second, Katerina, and he says, "Miss Katerina, this here is, Lance, a recently employed mercenary of mine."
Katerina. It's a unique name.
Is this maybe the lance that has a spear that stuck my dude in the eye?
Will you ask this in character?
No.
Lance,
Oh.
are you
I'm
carrying
asking
your lance
for,
on your
I'm asking
person?
For,
Yeah.
May I roll an insight?
Yeah, it's like slung across my back.
You can if you like. There's certainly a lance across this guy's back.
He just said his name was Lance
And
too.
he just said his name was Lance.
My insight is 13.
13, it's extremely likely that these are similar. You don't meet people that fight with lances every day.
Yeah, she just hums to herself quietly but doesn't say anything.
Yeah, not something as heavy or long as a lance anyways. Maybe a spear.
Enchanté, Lance. It is good to meet you.
He says,
Nice
yes.
to meet you.
And turning back to you, Lance, he says, "I do believe you just returned this morning."
It was a long journey, but it was well worth the coin.
Of
If you got any
course.
more jobs like that for me, I'm all for it.
Katerina
Also-
drunk just like blurts out, "From where? Where are you coming from?"
Well, where did I come from?
You were
Well,
coming from
that's-
Yarnborg.
No. Like, is she asking... Katerina,
Like-
are you asking, like,
Yeah,
where
like
I'm from?
well, because the Duke said it's nice to see that you're back from wherever
Oh,
it was
okay.
that you went, and so like I'm drunk, so I'm just being nosy, and I'm just like,
Oh.
"Where are you?"
I say, I just got back from Yarnborg, escorting a shipment of goods. That's all.
Good.
Like fish, meat, all that stuff.
Funny to hire a mercenary for that.
Is it a
Well,
dangerous road?
Where there's bandits, there needs to be protection. Sometimes guards don't cut it.
And Einhart sort of says, "It's just been minor steps to sort of compensate for the increased strain on the city guard lately."
Oui, Monsieur Duke, that is one of the things I wanted to speak to you about, amongst other matters, but better settled in private.
Oh? Perhaps we should speak quietly. And then sort of looking over at Lance, and then back at you, Olivier, he says, "Were you wanting to inquire specifically about mercenaries?"
Oui, that is part of it. It just occurred to me that if he wanted help with guards, all the extra people that want to be recruited could take positions as guard, as like temporary, like a test, like a test training.
Mm-hmm.
Have them do guard work, and then like once we get more space and work the whatever, so like the new recruits will have to take turns working as a guard, and then after like a month or two working as a guard, then they can join the club once the spots get filled or something.
Well, we could certainly discuss it inside. And if you're in need of any mercenary work, looking over at Lance, he says, perhaps we can make use of you fairly soon. We can always use good men.
Olivia like takes a step forward for a second and turns to Lance and goes, "You are a mercenary?"
Yep. I know no other profession.
Are you looking for work at the moment?
Where there's coin, that's where I'll be.
I may have a proposition for you, but sadly I do not have the coin to offer, but maybe if you hear my proposal, there might be something interesting in it for yourself.
Alright. Let's hear it.
And then TLDR, she tells him that she is looking for a crew to sail north to figure out the boat situations and like that it's adventure and I don't have gold, but we could probably find gold and glory and all that stuff.
So, treasure hunt, essentially.
I just think that there will be a treasure reward, but
Wait, so you tell me your entire plan of like retaking Boletario, right?
No, just that I want to take like a group up north. Well, I want to make up north, but I still have to like figure out how to finance all these other people and do shit. But I want to go north and like scout and like find these missing ships.
Okay, so you want to find the missing ships. That's what you're telling Lance. So you want to find missing ships. Okay.
That I'm headed towards Boletaria.
Alright, so he does not know about the throne. He just knows about there's missing ships and you want to find them.
Yeah, because it hurts the trade here, and like maybe if the Duke is willing to work with us, if we can figure this out, because it's been going on for months, maybe there can be a reward, like, or maybe we'll find the shipwrecked seas, and we'll find pirates steal all their booty, or like, I don't know. She doesn't have the gold, but she's going on this adventure, and maybe the Duke can be the reward, or maybe
he's gonna say, look, I know you're a reputable person. I've heard things about you, good things. But the type of business that I do, I take at least half of it up front. You see, in my line of work, sometimes people like to front. And other times they go behind your back and do certain things to make sure they don't have to pay you at the end of the deal. And one of those happened most recently. So from there on out I had decided that take at least half and get the other half when the job is done.
I see where you're coming from. I don't know what would be a realistic amount to offer. What was the last mission? Pay him.
Well, his last mission was to escort a shipment of fish to Yarnborg. And he was paid quite handsomely by the Duke for this.
300 gold.
Like 300 for this.
If I didn't miss out on those platinums, I would easily throw him hundreds of gold.
Well, if you have need of money, you know somebody who has been offering to give you money.
This is true.
And she does want something in return.
This is true. Well, Monsieur Lance, I just thought maybe I'd I would propose this for you. I need to sort my finances before I am able to offer you something worth your time.
I'll be always willing to hear it. The job is the job.
It is. Mostly, I would just need your help to help man the ship and fight any unwanted people trying to stop us.
Sounds easy enough. Tell you what.
Fight any unwanted people trying to stop us is a very vague statement, Lance.
It is, but in this line of work, it's like, I understand she needs protection, so...
If you...
Alright, how about this? Protection from what, exactly?
Well, these ships have gone missing, and there are people making it going missing.
Has Lance heard anything about Animali or disappearance in Boletarian?
Just about to mention that. Yeah.
Make me a D100 check, Lance, as there are rumors going about, and you may have heard from some of the other guards.
Yeah, because she would mention that there have been Animali.
84. As a matter of fact, Lance, one of the other guardsmen was telling you about how Scotty was recently attacked by a bunch of raiders. And there have been rumors going around that a group known as the Animali is making their way towards Port Hildian. But it's been hearsay except for the attack on Scotty.
Yeah, I know that the Animali have been destroying things up north, so my best conjecture is maybe they are involved, but they are always pirates or just
Tell
people.
me about these Animali. What are they?
She like shudders for a moment and says,
Do I see like the discomfort when she does this?
Sure, make me an insight check.
Alright.
Actually, you'd be able to see pretty clearly that Olivier is uncomfortable. That's
Well, I
clear.
rolled a 3, so I guess not.
No, I'll say, like, for the sake of this, like, if it's something that has
Yeah.
traumatized Olivier, it would be pretty clear to see.
yeah, like she
Okay.
would probably visibly pale and like have that shudder.
It's like, I see you've fought these things before, but go on.
You know, if you would like to learn more, I would offer to have you come over to my bar and we can sit and eat and drink and talk about this. It is unfortunately longer than a conversation we should be having here.
Alright, where's your bar?
It is the Sailor Song
Ah, I've been there.
in the tits.
What's with that Constantin fellow?
He is a good man and he needed work, so now he works for me. I honestly don't remember. I think I just compelled him to work for me, but
You don't sound like you're from
You
here, do
imparted
you?
knowledge.
yeah, I think I did.
Where are you from, Miss Rousseau?
She puffs up with a little bit of pride and says, I am from Boletarian, the capital.
Oh.
I was a knight for the king, or a captain for the king.
Where in Boletaria did, well, I know he's from the kingdom of Boletaria, but where did Lance live exactly?
Lance is from a town called Orlane.
Alright, where is that? And
It's southeast of the capital of Boletaria, which is
Alright.
That wasn't
also
where.
that is where Louise is from.
Yeah, would she remember that, or is that wiped from her?
You would remember that. Your memories of Louise aren't gone.
Alright, let's carry it, I say, wait, we're kind of hogging this guy's room. Let's,
Yeah.
go to the bar.
So you guys are gonna carry on at the Sailor Song?
Yeah, I just wanted to check in with the spy network, with the Duke, see if he learned any information.
Well, the Duke is going to tell you he's gonna give you a pretty similar rundown that the Fox's Den gave you, which is that as far as we know, all the other towns have not received their ships back from Great Boletaria either. There's been some word that Castle Yordagar to the northeast has seen barbarians out in the woods, like deep out in the jungle, that sort of thing. But if you guys want to carry on this conversation, you can do so back at the Sailor Song.
Yeah.
Okay. So you guys make your way back.
Oh, Lane.
Alright, so, continuing.
So Lance is from Orlane.
It's like, yeah, I'm from Lane.
Hmm.
And haven't lived there for long.
I see. There was only one person I knew from that city, or that town.
Oh, you knew someone from there.
Oui, but it was a long time ago.
Do you still know him?
I do not know if they are there. Her name was, Louise Rivers.
Luis!
Oui? Is he like... Yeah,
No,
she's
it
startled,
can't
I guess.
be. Like, Lance is, like, visibly shaken by hearing that name.
She's scrutinizing him now, not in a bad way, but trying
He's
to
like,
figure out
kind
what
of
the
like
fuck's
half,
going on.
and now he's like half, like, leaning over the table. He's like, where?
I have not seen her in a very long time. It was for a brief moment. Our paths crossed. What? Who is this Louise? Who is she to you?
She's my sister.
Is Is he? Oh my God, Colin or whatever his name was supposed to be, or
Alphonse.
Alphonse. Are you Alphonse? Wait, do I know that? Would she know that? Does she know that? She knows that, does she? Fuck, this is so hard. This is so a while ago.
You do. You have like 2 sets of memories. But Lance didn't introduce himself as Alphonse, but you remember that Luis had a younger brother named Alphonse.
I don't know if that would be a great thing to say, but it kind of like clicked in her brain, and she said it without thinking. Alphonse? Like, yeah.
Lance, that's a name you have not heard in a very, very long time.
Wait, she addressed me as Alphonse?
Yeah, she questioned Alphonse?
Because those
You
are
know me?
Luis's
You're-
memories.
Are you from my town as well? Has Luis told you about me?
Olivia's starting to look a little uncomfortable because she doesn't quite remember. I just thought you wanted to be a guard, or maybe in the city, and I think maybe she thought you are dead. I just know that there was this
I
horrible.
thought she was dead.
There was this. What happened to your city? 'Cause when last I saw her, I did not remember what had happened.
A vicious beast. Something that I've never seen and only heard about in stories. But they're real. They're
What kind
very
of it?
real. No one believed me.
What beast is this? I have seen some terrors in my life.
A dragon.
A
A dragon with the most brilliant purple light that I've ever seen.
Olivia, oh my god. Okay, this is like... She's gonna take a swig of that bottle and pour Katarina a drink who's not been talking. It's now in her brain, she's kind of panicking, like, oh fuck.
Yeah,
And,
Lance
like,
is an older guy too.
Lance slams his mug down on the table and it's like, and I won't rest until every fucking dragon is dead.
Dragons? Where did you see a dragon?
Have you not been listening?
I have.
You say it was
His home was destroyed by a dragon with a brilliant purple light.
No, I didn't hear that. I heard that the dragon took his sister.
Yeah, but it was a purple dragon.
it was late at night.
Olivier.
Well, you have to remember Katarina's never seen a dragon before, so that's why she's asking.
Yeah. I wasn't trying to be a dick. I was just in character.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I
Oh.
thought you were. I was like, God.
Lance is
But
just
he
rough.
continues the story. It's like it was late at night. Mother had just put us to rest, and it just happened out of nowhere. A loud crash. The roof just burst open. All I could see was pink and purple flames erupting the wood around me. I tried to go to my sister's room, but my parents wouldn't let me. The door exploded and they shielded me from the fire. Both of them burned alive. I couldn't find my sister. I managed to escape from the house, and from the hillside I watched as this beast just tore through everything in the town. Nothing was left.
Why did this dragon attack your town?
Katarina looks at Olivier and says, what is this thing? What is a dragon?
A dragon is like a very big lizard with nasty teeth and wings and breathes fire and...
Katarina just like looks at Olivier in horror.
Oui, I could draw you a picture.
Also,
She pulls out her little wooden dragon, shows it to Katarina.
Also keep in mind, the amethyst breath is a concussive force. So if Lance witnessed his parents quote-unquote being burned alive, they would have like burst apart as the flames like touched them, essentially.
Oh, okay. Well, they burst apart then.
So like it would have been a really horrible
Like
thing
their
to
bodies
see.
would exploded.
Yeah, and that was like full-size dragon breath too. So yeah,
Oh.
they would have like erupted in front of him.
Like But basically, it just goes on to say, like, yeah, it made me an orphan. I didn't have a family after that. And it wasn't long till I was captured.
How many of these dragons are there?
I am terribly sorry for your loss.
It's all
Olivia,
right.
you don't really know how many dragons there are.
I know that there's at least 2 others.
Mm-hmm.
But I've made it my life's goal. I don't tell many people this. Only my closest friends know it. But I'm out for them. They better watch out. I'll be the new predator.
Have you killed any so far?
No, but I'm waiting for the day. Even if I die trying, I have to do it. I have to avenge my family.
I understand. Have you seen these dragons since that day?
No, but I've heard stories from others about dragons, about how they exist, but then many more. They've mocked me for saying such a thing.
And this was like 20 some years ago?
Yes, just about.
It's funny because you didn't actually mention this was about 20-something years ago, Lance.
How do you know so much about this? You must have lived in the same town.
I mean, I grew up in Boletarian. I mean, it is not close, but it is not that far. I mean, it was, it was spoken about, but when I briefly met your sister, it was, she recanted the stories of me, of that time. And she asked my age, and I said this, and you would have been maybe born, maybe a child. It was back, this many years ago, and I just remember that it was around when I was born. It was hard to believe.
When was the last time you saw Louise?
Realistically, how long ago was it? When she got oh my god, I feel so bad for her now.
That would have been the first time you visited Colmar, so weeks?
Maybe a month ago?
Only a month, Lance.
Yeah, I have to see her. Please, take me to her. Look, I'll cut you a deal, alright? 1,000 gold. Even. I'll go with you. I'll do whatever you need me to do. Just reunite me with my sister, please.
Olivier has no idea where this woman is, because she was in her brain for a while, and now she's somewhere in some dark realm with Meryl Suhana. So she could totally lie to this guy and be like, yeah, sure, to get his help, or just tell him the truth.
That's up to you.
Up to you. Up to you.
And you know that Luis is being continuously fed upon as well.
Fed upon, like eaten?
Yes, like she is being like tortured for fear, and then her
that's right.
fear
Oh my
is
god,
being
that was
fed
so
upon.
sad. Oh man, I want to get her back.
Yeah, she's like a little fear battery.
That I will do my best to help you find her, but I cannot guarantee that I know where she is or that I can do this, but everything in my power, within my power, I will help.
Everything in your power. Okay.
We have a deal, Miss Rousseau.
D'accord. She holds out her metal hand again to shake.
It's an interesting device you have there.
This is a product of the anomaly. They ripped my arm off. Actually, it was cut off by my sergeant, but the anomaly had me pinned, and they were rows and rows of teeth on my arm. I could not get out. I was going to die. It is a long, tragic story. I don't. We can. Well, we have time to be friends. I can tell you this as we bond.
And I look towards Katarina and say, "What's your story?"
My story. I'm kind of
Yeah,
like,
you gotta
what
have a
is
story.
this? I'm just traveling. I've never been outside my home, and so I came to Port Hildian and I met lovely Rousseau, and we've become friends. And kind of like smile at Olivier, like nodding.
She returns the giant grin.
Katarina, have you mentioned before that you've never really been outside your home?
I think I have, yeah.
Okay.
Not she just did.
He asks, "Oh, were you born here?"
No, I wasn't. I was born
Where
in
are
the
you really?
Ingle. Where am I from again? Isles of Inglefeld. No, I'm from the Isles of Inglefeld.
I don't know where that is.
Yeah, there.
Actually, both of you guys would know it is on the south, or it's on the eastern coast. It is southeast of Boletaria. It's basically on the opposite side of the continent that you guys are right now. So Katarina's pretty far from home.
Wow, you came here. You came pretty far. What
I
for?
wanted an adventure. I wanted something different. I grew up very poor, and one day I just took a ride with a friend of mine and we traveled down. Sadly, I'm not with him anymore.
It's a shame. Did he die?
Yes, he did.
That's unfortunate. Seems we've all lost somebody.
And then we find new people. It's funny how it happens like that.
I have lost everything I have.
Yeah, Olivier just lost a friend. Leonte. Kind of like look at Olivier.
My king,
It's
my
an odd name.
right. I've lost my king. I've lost my country. I've lost my friends. I've lost my comrades. My arm. Everything.
Did Leonte die?
Yeah, Olivier, did Leonte die? Kind of like poking at her.
Her death has never been confirmed, but she escaped at the last second, so it is. I believe it's. I believe she's 11. We must go find her, make sure she's alright. But I am confident
also north?
she is not dead. That one is tricky. She never tells you where she goes. She just poof disappears. So maybe, maybe not.
Can I notice at all that she's a little bit uneasy? Explaining.
Yeah,
that?
go ahead. Roll an insight check.
I'm not exactly lying.
I rolled 17.
17, yeah, you can see that she looks a little uneasy about that. Olivier, as
Well,
you're...
I mean, you tried killing her, so it's like that.
Oh, yeah.
Olivier, as you're sort of looking past Lance and Katarina, you see Big Audric standing behind the two of them, with his knee sort of bent and his neck sort of hacked away by a hand axe. And
her eyes are gonna. Oh, Jesus.
He's just standing behind Lance and Katarina, just sort of not really saying anything.
She's gonna stare at him. Her eyes are gonna wide a little bit, and she pales again, and she's gonna say, kind of quietly again, like she did with that elf. Audric?
And he sort of slowly nods, and as he does, his head sort of swings on the swivel of what's left of his neck, and sort of falls limply in front of his chest, and he's sort of
Olivia's gonna turn and vomit. She's pulling a Frankie right now. Just what did I say?
The two of you watch as Olivier turns and
Lance
vomits.
just stands up, straight up, out of his chair, and he's like, "What the hell?"
You hear Jugoslav in the background. You drink too much.
She hasn't been drinking.
I had this earlier. It is not what I am familiar with, and puts down the bottle of tequila.
A barmaid's going to come and begin cleaning up your puke.
I'm gonna hand her like some pennies, cause like, oops,
You hand her some
like
copper.
yeah, a handful of like coppers for the trouble.
Pennies.
Sorry, whatever they're called.
She appreciatively takes the coppers, like begins cleaning up your mess.
I'm sorry. What time of day is it? Is it like nighttime?
At this point, it's getting to be late evening. You guys are probably looking at like 9ish.
I think maybe if you'd like to continue using the plane, I can get you a room if you'd like. I think maybe I have
Oh,
some.
don't worry about me. I'm already staying at a place.
Where are you staying at? Katerina looks at Lance.
Manticore's Tail? You ever heard of it?
Well, yes, we know that place.
It's pretty spacious. I like it.
Oui. But return here tomorrow and we will continue all this. I just think that maybe I need to go tinker on things and turn in for the night.
Yeah, I'm pretty tired of myself too. I think I'll turn in.
Y'all can go ahead. I'm gonna stay here and drink for a little bit more.
Sounds good. If you like a room here, Katarina, you're more than welcome.
Thank you, Olivier.
Just tell Shugo if you need anything. I'm totally just gonna keep calling him Shugo, because...
That's fine. Jugo. Okay. So are you guys departing for the night?
Yes.
Katarina, any particular thing you'd like to do tonight? Aside from your typical trips to Gerfelder?
No.
Okay. Okay.
Olivia's like been bombarded with all this emotional shit, like
She'll
she
cry.
found out about the dragon thing and that it was Louise and it was a purple dragon and oh my god, it's the guy, like
And then like this is her
seeing
long
dead
lost
people.
brother.
Yeah, and seeing dead ghosts in the background, like
So
shit.
when
Yeah,
would
nightmares
Leonte
when
be?
you sleep.
Yeah.
When does Leonte come back?
Leonte technically comes back at the end of a 3-day span.
Okay. How many days has it been?
This is the end of the first day. So y'all don't have to worry too much about that. Just trust me on that.
But will he know like where we are and how to get back?
Yeah, just trust me on that. He'll find his way back.
Poor Leonte.
Yeah.
Okay. Is there any particular thing you guys want to do in Port Hildian from here?
No, not really.
Lance, are you going to inform the others?
About what?
Dastin, Old Man Olphus,
Yeah.
Rat Tail, and the last guy.
I'm gonna like let him know and be like, I mean, if you want to like bring me to them.
Sure. Let me see. I'll say your best. Okay. So, the agreement that you guys came to was that Olivier is going to begin working on a circlet of comprehending languages for Katerina for a total of 3,000 gold, which will be paid in 2 installments. And of that, Olivier, you were going to use 1,000 of that to pay Lance off, pretty much right off the bat.
Yes. Well, yeah, as soon as I get it, yeah.
And you're going to basically have like an open recruitment in addition to this to hire more people. Now, Lance, you're getting paid a good deal, but you have also promised to like assist for an uncertain amount of time. So
Yes.
this pretty much takes care of that. The others aren't really obligated to that quite as much, but you're in it to find your sister. So here, Lance, you are at the Manticore's Tail, where you have gathered Igor, Dastin, Ulfus, and Rattail. And all of you guys are having drinks around the table here as you begin filling them in about this job to go north with Olivier Rousseau. By the way, looking around this tavern, you no longer see those hunters that you had offered to do some work with.
I guess they weren't interested.
I guess not. So Rattail was saying, quiet down, quiet down. So anyways, Lance, we're going north?
If you're up to it. I met a girl. Her name is Olivia Rousseau. She's extremely capable. I'd say more so than myself, but only because she's had more experience.
And
But she's paying handsomely.
Ulfus sort of leans forward, his hands on the table, and he says, and this girl is leading the charge north? To Boletaria?
Yes, she is.
And Dastan speaks up and says, you think this is gonna be trouble?
Well, she's not a fucking noble, that's for sure. So, whatever's not a noble is less trouble.
Igor's sort of like sitting there quietly, and after a moment he speaks up and he says, my nose can't tell. It could be good. And he sort of looks anxiously over at the others and he says, it could be bad. What do you boys think?
Well, I'm going if you guys, whether or not you guys want to. But I figured it'd be nice to get the team back together.
And Rattail sort of sets his bottle on the table and he says, well, you did get us out of that mess back in Fort Goche. I suppose I trust your judgment.
I know we're mercenaries. I know that the coin matters a lot. But I think you guys, I think you'll make fine soldiers.
What? Little do they know they're following the path that I went through.
Okay, so you guys are all going to head north in the coming days.
How much are you planning on paying these guys? Like, I don't care how much you pay them. Like I just said, handsomely. Handsomely could be 200 gold per.
That's more of what I was thinking, honestly.
2 gold a day is like pretty cushy living.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably around 200 is what I was thinking, but...
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, Lance has no problem with that because he knows that like 1,000 was risky asking, but...
Oh, you're right. I should have haggled. Fuck.
Yeah.
About that shit.
Lance pulling those mercenary tricks on you.
Damn it. I should have known better. I forgot.
Yeah, he does not care how much you pay them. Only what he's going after.
That's true. Well, maybe I'll do like 180, 160. We'll see.
Okay.
But yeah, because money doesn't really mean anything to her. She just needs it to do things the legit, not ethical, non-killing, murderous mind control way.
So just to be clear here, on the plan, Olivier, you are amassing an army to assault Boletaria. Were you going to fuck around with logistics and trying to move this army there over land, or are you going to just wait until there's a circle and then move all your prepared troops there overnight?
I mean, the circle will be the greatest. That's why I'm trying to get there and scout ahead of time.
I think that makes the most sense, so that you're not trying to bring all these mercenaries and fight crew with you.
Yes, I might send one by ship ahead of time just to look normal and cause a distraction, perhaps. Have like the naval section, if you will, but I would like to establish the circles up there first somewhere and then bloop bloop.
Okay, so that's the plan, Lance. That's what you pass on to your guys. The plan is that everybody is going to move forward in Boletaria, but not right off the bat.
Yeah, like I guess that's what they'd be being paid for, is helping me make the journey north to establish the circle, so that when the time comes...
So they are traveling north with you, or they're just hanging out until the circle's made and it's time to assault Boletaria?
Oh, I guess...
Because logistically speaking, it's a lot less expensive.
Yeah, if you keep people on reserve, you won't have to pay them immediately.
what I am advising you do, and just because like overland travel can be expensive, you'll have to pay for food for all these people, yada yada yada. Because you have this unique technology to just pop people anywhere in the world instantly, I would say you guys continue venturing forth so you don't have to worry about the logistics of dragging an army through the swamps, which I promise you will not be pleasant.
And a lot of them will die.
And a lot of them will die because you're not there to hold everybody's hand. Just wait till y'all get there, and then you can bring these armies. And that also gives your armies like months to prepare while you guys make your way overland.
That sounds way better. Let's do that for sure.
Okay, so that is the plan for Olivier's troops going north. Lance,
also,
this is
then
what
they
you tell
can
your
see
guys.
my play.
Yeah,
actually,
there you
go. They shouldn't go see my play unless they're like in the very back or something.
Yes, so that's another thing, Olivier. You now know that the Animali there's been news from Castle Yordagar, and the Duke and the Mama-san have told you all this. The Animali seem to be approaching Castle Yordagar now, which means they've found a way to move through the jungle.
Mm-hmm.
And this is consistent with them attacking Scotty. In addition to that, your bomb is complete, Olivier, as are a good number of outfits, and the play is currently being developed.
Yeah. Things are going in motion. I love it.
So everything is primed now, correct?
I think so. I gotta think, I guess. See, there's something I'm missing, but...
Except for Lance, who has sort of like worked out a personal deal with you guys. Lance is going to continue on with the group. Okay.
Sounds good.
Okay. Lance, all your guys are cool with this plan because they get to chill and then they get paid for like a quick job. They're not sure how that's supposed to work, and they're kind of like, how the hell are we supposed to get to Boletarian? But Olivier hasn't really gone into detail about it. She's just like, hey, this is a job for down the road.
I want to like role play that ring travel. Like, cool.
Okay. So over the next few days, you guys conclude any final business in Port Hildian, and you are all going to meet up at the Sailor Song to head north. As per Katarina and Olivier's schedule.
So because Olivier didn't say how we were going there, Lance has assumed that it would involve a lot of foot travel and horseback and whatnot.
Yeah, or
so
a boat.
He shows up
or
to the Sailor Song Tavern with a giant fucking knapsack full of rations. Like, I'm talking about like 20 or so rations, and like a bedroll like tightly like packed on his back. He's ready to go hiking.
He's ready, he's down. And do we see him with this, or is this like next day at night?
Yeah, this is like at the end of the 3 days.
Yeah, like
okay.
Or this is like the beginning of the third day. We'll say that.
What are you doing?
Why aren't you guys dressed like this?
She like face palms herself. I forgot to tell you. You do not need that. I think it would just be easiest to show you. There is no way to explain it really that you would believe. I have decided a word that seems pretty fitting is teleporting.
Teleporting?
The
hell is that?
So you know, you take rock and you throw, and the rock is over there.
Yes.
There is magic in this world, and we have tapped into it. And,
magic? You mean like witches?
Sure, but no, not witches, but more like universe spirit, like god magic. Je ne sais pas. I just, like I said, it's easier to show you, but essentially, we step in the circle, we take a step, and we are somewhere else in the world.
It sounds like nonsense, Lance. But she's paying a lot of
Okay.
money.
You,
Show me.
That's how it is happening. You have no choice.
As Lance like is just listening to this, he's like feeling a little bit of regret of taking this job.
I promise you these armless. It will not hurt. You might feel maybe dizzy. But
Whatever you say.
it feels like being rocked on a boat, but you're not moving. Je ne sais pas. You will have to find out for yourself.
At about this time, a voice rings out and says, "Hey, you're the guy that ruined my eye."
He's gonna turn around and just be like, as I remember, it was a fair fight.
And you sort of turn around, and there's like a large man who's like just kind of standing in the doorway, and he like narrows his eyes at you, and he says, "Yes, it was a fair fight, but
I'm sorry.
you blinded my eye."
How, over the course of 3 days, how many checks would I need, you think, to make him an eyeball?
Ooh, you're
Like once a
essentially.
day. Or like, if I did once or two, and I don't know how. Yeah, I don't know.
This would be kind of an involved medicine check.
Okay. Shoot.
I would say if you're working over, go ahead and make me 3 tinkering checks.
Like maybe
assumably working at the Engineers Guild for.
Yeah, or
reference.
at the hospital or something for the medicine.
Yeah, go ahead and roll me those.
Okay, it's intelligence and my proficiency bonus. Let us see. Roll 3 d20 plus symbol plus 3 plus 3. Okay. Plus 3 plus 3. I hope I did this right. It doesn't do me weird shit. Ugh, gross. Wait, hold on. Did I do that right? Why did it add the 6 later?
Yeah, that's okay.
Okay.
It's basically plus 6 to each of these. But these are all pretty low for what
Yeah.
you're trying to do. Which
Those
is,
last 2 hurt a lot.
yeah, if you're trying to make an eyeball, then you're basically going to need to make a device that interfaces
roll.
with his optic nerve, which is
Do I
kind
at
of,
least have like a prototype to show him or something?
yeah. I mean, you have a complicated little hunk of like metal sphere that you could show him.
Yeah. Just to try to like placate the situation.
And diffuse some of this tension.
Oui, but I hired him for a job, but look, I am working on this for you.
And he sort of
And
like
she's-
breaks his glare with Lance here to look over. Some of these other brawlers are sort of like kind of curiously piling behind to see what's going on.
And she's gonna pull out her eagle eyes too and be like, essentially, what I am thinking is that how this makes an image bigger. If I make something similar with the light and the glass, it will make you see light, if you will. She's doing her best to explain it to him in layman's terms because she can't go behind the science of it because they wouldn't
Right.
understand. And I don't know the jargon.
Right, so he takes this eyeball and he's kind of looking at it.
Or you can get Torvald to heal his blind.
Yeah, right. You can get
Oh,
Torvald.
well, you know, we don't talk anymore, so...
So he's looking at it and he says like, this is pretty interesting. And he looks over and he says, if this really fixes my eye, I'd certainly owe you a debt. And he kind of looks over at Lance, like kind of leering at him. And then he finally like sighs and he's like, well, I can say this. This man's a damn good fighter. And he looks over at you, Lance, and he says, you should come back, and maybe give a lesson or two.
Maybe this time you may be the one blinding me.
Ideally, we won't have anyone blinding each other. But, we'll let you guys get about your business. gives a nod to you, Lance. He says, "Respect." And he just kind of like
First.
walks.
Locktar,
Past.
Ogar.
And these brawlers are gonna kind of follow behind him, kind of curiously looking at you, Lance, and ogling at Olivier and Katarina, who are basically celebrity status.
Ooh.
Okay. Alright, so at this point you guys are free to take that circle that you were trying to explain.
Yeah, he still doesn't believe the circle thing.
Yeah, just follow us. Take maybe what you need for a few days. She just, I don't know, however much. He doesn't need all that, but you know.
Mm-hmm.
I just I put the bag down in the bar. Like, I'm gonna come back and get it.
Yeah, it'll be safe. You
And
can leave it
then-
in a room if you'd like.
It's fine. I'll just leave it here. I'll come back for it later.
I'll take care of it. Not to
Thank
worry.
you.
So, show me the circle.
Follow me. She's
Alright.
gonna lead him there.
So the group of you guys. Now correct me if I'm wrong, but like, was that circle right here on this little island? Oh, sorry, right there. This
I feel like that
tiny
was
little
Meryl Suhana's circle, maybe.
island. Maybe, I don't quite remember, but I know you guys were generally like somewhere in the north up here.
Was it?
It was either this island or it was somewhere like to the north of town. But basically, Lance, they lead you to this circle, and looking at it, you immediately recognize it as like something kind of witchy. You see like symbols and writing that you don't recognize, and it sort of puts you on edge. And you're looking at these stones. It's basically like this large stone platform with like these purple markings that seem to be like faintly glowing.
What is this?
She just kind of shrugs. It is magic, like I said. Our friend made it. She is a dark elf.
She's
Drow?
a what?
She's a
She's a drow, but regular people wouldn't really know what a drow is.
they know what an elf was?
They know what an elf is according to story.
She is like an elf, but a night elf, or yes. She did this.
I've heard stories of elves. Never seen one before.
But you know, people did not believe you unless you say you saw a dragon, so no, she is like a night elf, I guess.
Dragons they're very real.
And
I wish more people knew about them.
So is our friend. But this is what she does. Does what she does. This is what she does. I promise you it works. There was no. You will not be harmed. We have used it many a time. In fact, even the kobold can use it. And then
Oh,
she's
what?
thinking, oh fuck, did that kobold? Was he in the room ever? Cause did I not tell him to like come find me or some shit?
Yeah, you told him how to come find you.
All right, he didn't come find me.
Yeah, nobody's seen him yet.
Kobolds, they are little creatures that throw poison darts. They live in bogs. It is no matter. I'm saying.
Strange person, Olivier. But go ahead.
Merci. I am just saying a child could use this. This is
How about you step in there first?
okay, and then she just bloop.
So I just see her disappear.
So basically what happens is Olivier steps into the circle and says an incantation, which to you, Lance, just sounds like gibberish. And then there's like a sort of like sucking sound, and like you watch as Olivier's form sort of like blurs into like this like snap, and it's just like and she's like out of there.
He's still not like, now he's afraid of stepping on there.
Yeah, and this figure dressed all in black, this girl, Katarina, standing beside the circle, looks like very calm about it.
She's still alive?
Katarina?
Maybe you're muted?
Nope. Oh, she said be right back.
Oh. Yeah, she's
she
still
is,
alive.
She is muted though. But yeah, so so Katarina just sort of gives you a nod, Lance, and she steps inside the circle herself and sort of like holds out a hand. She says, "Come along, it won't hurt."
I like just inch forward onto the ring, just kind of like shuffling, putting like one foot in front of the other.
As soon as you get close enough, Katarina is gonna make a sleight of hand check to reach out and snatch you. And get a 19.
Can I fight it?
Yeah, if you like, you don't have to.
I failed it.
So like, it's not that she's like grappling you, she's just reaching out and like getting a hold of you.
Yeah.
And as this happens, Lance, you sort of like see your vision getting like
I'm
launched
already
forward,
dead enough.
and it just sort of like pinches into like a blackness and then like pinches back open wide again, and you find yourself standing in the middle of a city, completely alone.
Meanwhile, Olivier again is like, "Oh, merde! Why every..."
Alright, Lance, and that's going to put you... Shit. I believe it's somewhere up north up here. And you are by yourself, and you do not see a smoking black house anywhere. You just see a completely regular town.
Look around and like, is this?
There's also a strong wave of nausea that just like hits you, but then gradually fades. So Lance, looking around you, it's very humid. You seem to be in a very lovely town, and there is another large tree in this town.
I look around for the others.
Katarina's not there. Olivier's not there. You are just completely alone, standing in the middle of the circle. You're unhurt. You like pat yourself down. There's nothing wrong. Olivier and Katarina would see Lance just sort of standing there looking around.
Yeah, and Olivier's just like, "Mailed." Just like, "Fuck, not again. I forgot again."
So, Lance is gonna go to a bar, assuming that they'll be there.
You're going to go where?
Wherever the bar's at, assuming that they're already there waiting, or the inn, tavern.
Yes.
Okay. So Katarina, what just happened is you guys were showing Lance the teleportation circle. And you were all about to head north, and Olivier in demonstration headed north. And then inviting Lance in, you brought him to Colmar as well.
Oh, but he's like stuck and like.
But he's
the predicament that I was in.
right, so he's under the veil, and the two of you guys are on the outside. But he doesn't see the black smoking Colmar house. He just sees a completely regular town. Okay?
Can we like throw rocks at like in the direction of the house? Is that Is that something that we can do?
You can. You pick a rock up off the ground and you toss it.
Does he like? Can I throw it in front of him?
Yeah. He just like doesn't seem to notice at all. He's just walking on ahead.
Can I keep throwing rocks at him?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can keep
See if
throwing
it like
rocks at
gets
him if you like.
his attention. Yeah.
Can I drag like an arrow in the dirt or something?
Yeah, you can try all of these things.
Yeah, I just want to keep like throwing rocks ahead of him until he notices the rocks that I'm throwing. Or if he gets suspicious, like what the fuck, like who's throwing rocks?
I'm gonna drag. Yeah, I'm just gonna paint arrows.
Lance, as
Or
you are...
I'm also gonna scribble on a piece of paper, "Everyone is dead in the city," and like throw it at him.
It like flies in the air, like right in front of him.
Yeah, it just sort of like right through him. Just passes through Lance's body as he's walking.
Pick it up.
And Lance, you walk right past it.
He doesn't notice the rocks?
Nope, he doesn't notice the rocks.
God damn it.
And you guys are watching as Lance sort of like fades in and out of view. Like
If I go into the house, will it put me back in that plane?
Not to your knowledge, no. And Lance, you're sort of walking around like trying to find what looks like a bar or a tavern. And you're kind of looking around for a city guard when it occurs to you that there are no city guards. Not that you can see, which is very strange to a mercenary, because like who's gonna protect these people? Like a town this big couldn't go without town guards because of something like crime. But for the life of you, you can't seem to find any anywhere. In fact, there seems to be a general unrest among the people.
I like pull someone to the side. This person I see with this.
Okay. It's sort of a middle-aged guy, and he looks at you, and he says, well, what are you grabbing me for?
Where are all the guards? Where's the tavern?
And he sort of looks at you and he says, haven't you heard? All of the guards are missing. It's the strangest thing. Yeah, everyone just woke up this morning and they were gone. None of them, even the off-duty ones. And that tree, and he sort of like turns and points over at the tree in the center of town. He says, there was a tree just right where a stump was yesterday. There's a full-grown tree there, and it's huge.
Damn teleportation.
And he shakes his head and he says, you really haven't talked to anybody today, have you? And he says, it's the craziest thing. Even the mayor's gone.
Just got here.
Just got here. And
yeah.
And he sort of looks you up and down, and he says, well, anyways, there's no town guards about.
Well, who's gonna protect you?
And he shakes his head, and he's like, I don't know. Well, what about all the missing people? What about their families? He sort of looks at me, he's like, what's wrong with you? He says, have you no empathy, man?
Look, man, I just got here, okay? Give me time.
And he sort of shakes his head and he's like, whatever. And he sort of like
so wait, your mayor's gone?
And turning back to you, he's like, yeah, that's what I said. The mayor's gone, nobody's seen him.
Is there a second in command?
And they say, not really. We weren't really prepared for a situation like this.
Somebody's got to step up to the job.
And he says, there's supposed to be some sort of meeting near the evening. We're gonna try and settle all this and figure it out. At about this time, you see like a very large man who's just sort of like walking through the crowd and like walking around, or like people rather are like walking around him as he sort of makes his way through the road.
He looks like someone I would want to like talk to.
This guy is massive, but strangely enough, he's walking around like without any armor covering his chest. He's got a bizarre helmet.
I walk up to him.
And he sort
So-
of pauses and looks down at you. He says, "What can I do for you?"
You're dressed for the occasion.
Yes, I get that a lot.
So what's the deal with this place? Where are all the guards?
Haven't you heard? All the guards were gone. Same as yesterday. Same as tomorrow.
What?
And he sort of like stares at you for a second. He says, I'm probably wasting my breath.
No, wait, no. I just got here. What's going on?
And this helmeted figure sort of like pauses and regards you. And he says, "You just got here. How?"
You wouldn't even fucking believe me if I told you, but some magic circle shit up north brought me
Magic circle, you say?
Oh no.
here. Yeah, I'm looking for a girl. She's about this high, and he like kind of just does like, I don't know, like whatever, an estimate of like Olivier's height, and she's got some metal arm. And then I'm also looking for a girl dressed in black. Have you
Meanwhile,
seen
they're like poking through his chest in the other world, but no one mentions anything.
Yeah, you guys are just gathered around Lance, like waving your hands like through his head. And he says, "Wait, a girl with a metal arm. I've met a girl like that. And this girl dressed in black. Was she wearing a wide-brimmed hat?"
From Port Hilton, right?
"Yes. Well, perhaps."
Is her name Olivia Rousseau?
Not the girl with the hat. But yes, I know this Rousseau. The one with the arm.
Yep, that's her alright. Well, I guess we can look together.
Tell me, what do you know about this circle you told me of earlier?
Some witch circle. Apparently one of their friends set it up. It's a
Witches.
circle that they draw with rocks and orbs. I didn't want to step through it, but I got pulled into it. Now I'm here.
I see. Please, show me this circle immediately.
Alright, and I'm gonna lead him up to where I teleported in.
Okay. So here's the thing. I kind of wouldn't mind running a solo session for Lance while he's in Colmar. Which will give us the opportunity to expedite this process once we know like how everything's going.
I could just like wait and stare at the window and point at him and point at me and be like, "Get this house."
Yeah, you guys would basically just have to wait for him to like walk past the house for some reason.
Yeah.
Which like it's way over here and not necessarily like down here in town somewhere. So would you guys be open to calling this session about here and Lance running a solo session before the next game?
Okay.
Sure.
It wouldn't be tonight though.
No, it wouldn't be tonight.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. It just
Fine.
felt good to get the ball rolling again, you know.
Yeah. And this is perfect because this will help us get to the point where Leonte can return and find everybody like waiting here to figure out
Thank
what's going on
you.
with Lance.
Gesundheit.
Bless you.
Thank you.
Gesundheit.
Okay, so everybody cool with that?
Mhm.
Alright, then we'll go ahead and wrap it up here.